You're watching the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law. Tonight, another chapter of a budding county clash as North Davidson visits Oak Grove. And we welcome you to our coverage. Chris Edwards, happy to be alongside Mark Covert and delighted to have you with us. Mark, this game kind of like an onion tonight. There's so many layers to this contest. These two teams have players that went to middle school. They've split the last two conference championships. Mark Holcomb, the head coach of Oak Grove, not available tonight. And oh, by the way, it's a soggy track too. How do you handicap this game?
Well, it's going to be about running the football and playing some tenacious defense here tonight. Both teams have to establish that ground game early and attack the opposing offense on defense.
You talk about the defense, could be one of those grinded out defensive battles tonight. A couple of really good linebackers for our impact players. It starts for North Davidson with Tanner Jordan.
Yeah, Tanner Jordan, a sideline-to-sideline player and an absolute tackling machine. He is the engine that drives this defense. He's going to have to be spectacular here tonight. And you can't really talk about Oak Grove unless you address number 24, Colin Frank. He is a downhill attacking linebacker, another great player for that defense. He's going to have to be a game wrecker here as well.
All right, for more on our contest tonight, let's go and say hi to the third member of our team, Hannah Brady.
Thanks, guys. Excited to be down here for another Friday night matchup as North Davidson takes on Oak Grove. These two teams used to be in the Central Carolina Conference until this fall as they've moved to the 3A Mid-Piedmont Conference. They played a really tough schedule so far, and the last time that North Davidson played Oak Grove, they had a 2-hour weather delay. Maybe the rain will pour in another win for these Black Knights. Chris and Mark, back to you.
All right, Hannah, thanks. Will it be the Knights who are crowned on the road, or will the Grizzlies bear down at home? We'll have kickoff for you next on My 48. Welcome me back to Oak Grove High School for this big conference clash between North Davidson and Oak Grove. Mark, we touched on it at the top of the broadcast as Oak Grove takes the field. They're without head coach Mark Holcomb tonight. Mark Holcomb, the longtime head coach at North Davidson for 13 years. He started this Oak Grove program. Not available for the Grizzlies tonight due to COVID protocols. Instead, it will be the defensive coordinator, Rob Creason, who is the acting head coach for the Grizzlies.
And we're going to see what kind of impact that plays, obviously, here tonight. Obviously, your head coach not being there, that is the guy who runs this ship. So we're going to see exactly how some of his subordinates are able to control things in his absence.
So it's Oak Grove who won the coin toss. They deferred their option to the second half. We'll see the starting lineup for North Davidson on the field first. There's Rob Creason, the head coach, the acting head coach of the Oak Grove Grizzlies. And now we'll take a look at the starting lineup for North Davidson. It's brought to you by the United States Navy. Set your career in motion. Call your local Navy recruiter today. America's Navy, forged by the sea. And it really begins with a dynamic backfield for this North Davidson squad. Xavion Hayes, Jeremiah Walker, two really good running backs.
And they're going to be needed here tonight. Obviously, we had some rain, some inclement weather here earlier in the day. It's cleared up finally now as game time approaches, but they're going to have to be big here tonight for this offense of North Davidson.
On the flip side for Oak Grove defensively, we talked about Colin Frank, the linebacker, but a really good front three for this Oak Grove defense.
And controlling the line of scrimmage is going to be so important here on both sides of the ball as well, on either facet of the game here tonight. It's going to start with those front three and then the 4 linebackers, or rather 5, that play behind them.
It should be a good one tonight between these two teams. They have split the last 2 conference championships. Hannah mentioned it a little bit earlier. Last year's game that was played in the spring delayed 2 hours because of weather. Maybe it's something about these two rivals that when they get together, some inclement weather, maybe that'll lead to some fireworks on the field.
Well, we're going to see. Again, it's so hard to tell kind of what they're going to do because Oak Grove also likes to put the football in the air. They're going to have to switch up their tactics here now with the weather being what it was earlier today. See if they can gain control here early on.
We're going to start tonight's game with our Arnold Jones kickoff. Sir, at Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air, we can handle all of your heating and air conditioning needs. It'll be Aiden Doherty to put it in play. He's yet to have a touchback this season. Xavion Hayes, Alex Naylor back deep. There is Xavion Hayes. Glad to have you with us on this soggy Friday night in the Triad. Oak Grove, North Davidson. The rivalry is renewed this evening. And off we go. A line drive kick, the first touchback of the season, and it is North Davidson who starts off their own 20-yard line.
And running the ball is going to be so important. And there are 2 bell cows in that backfield. They're going to be able to do that here tonight.
Let's take a look at your keys to the game tonight, Mark. We'll start with North Davidson and what you believe is important for the Black Knights.
Well, and again, it just goes back to running the ball. That's what they do fundamentally. That's what they do as an offense. And a wet field means running the ball and controlling the clock, and as well as controlling the line of scrimmage up front to take command early on. For Oak Grove, take advantage of those passing downs, especially here tonight. It might be tough to come by. And defensive pursuit, run to the football, gang tackle the ball carriers, and bring them down before they get more yardage.
Quarterback, Gavin Hill, the junior. Little stutter step in the backfield. And Hayes wrestled down from behind. A good open field tackle that time by KJ Leak. Correction, it was not Leak who made the stop. It was Blake Sinhalt, the defensive lineman.
You see here just a little bit of penetration that disrupts the play at the point of attack on the left side of the offensive line. And Oak Grove, again, that pursuit right there, right away, able to corral the ball carrier in the backfield.
Loss of a yard. Good start for this Oak Grove defense. Grizzlies showing blitz, a little bubble screen, and a big hit off the first pass play of the night. Well, what a start for this defense. It's Crew Jones, the corner, who comes in to make the big hit.
You see number 7 there, Ethan Snyder, the linebacker and tight end. Trying to come in and make a block, crucial out there on the edge, misses, and that just ruins the entire play. Good play call. They had the man up there to make the play, but Snyder missing that block hurts them tremendously, and that's another loss on 2 back-to-back plays.
It was 26th catch of the year there for Reed Nicely, and now the first third down of the night for this North Davidson defense. They're just 36% on third downs, and the first infraction of the night should be 5 free yards, and it will be. Mickey Holloman is our official tonight, our lead referee, seeing Mickey and his crew for the second straight Friday. Mickey obviously iced that right arm last week and is back and ready for business tonight. So now third down and 9 for this North Davidson offense. Again, just 36% on third downs this year.
I think it's a passing down already here, 9 yards to go.
3-step drop, time, and an incomplete pass. Had a man open on the far sideline, trying to hit Alex Naylor, but more good pressure from Oak Grove. It forces the 3 and out.
Yeah, had time to sit back there in the pocket. A little bit of pressure came late, but not enough to disrupt that throw. Just a little bit off target and off time and off schedule. And the first possession of the game for the North Davidson Black Knights on the last those 3 plays. You're going to give it back with fairly good field position to this Oak Grove team.
Now Riley Sullivan on to punt for the 15th time this season. Ty High, the deep man here for Oak Grove. High snap, pressure off the edge, and a whistle before the play stopped. Boy, a late flag. It'll be a procedure penalty here on North Davidson.
Just more ground given up. And it's 2 penalties on this drive as well.
Penalties have certainly been an issue for North Davidson this year, Mark. Penalized an average of 66 yards per game. And now this procedure penalty makes it a 4th down and forever. Sullivan back near his goal line.
Talking about a team that wants to get it right here. Not a great start.
More pressure off the edge, but a booming kick for Sullivan. This is high on the return. Runs into a man and then is plowed down in plus territory, but a nice return for Oak Grove. A nice return, and it'll be Oak Grove who starts on the right side of the 50 as we look at the Oak Grove starting lineup after this replay.
Yeah, nice return. Booming punt, so it gets back, but a great return, evading some defenders, and sometimes you're wrong place at the wrong time if you're one of the blockers on special teams.
This Oak Grove offense, as you look at their starting lineup, brought to you by the United States Navy. Transform your life and become part of something bigger. America's Navy, forged by the sea. It all begins with Connor Creech and a nice backfield as well for this Oak Grove Grizzly attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Creech has a few weapons around him that he's able to work with. A few dynamic players as well. You want to talk about Hart, Tuttle in the backfield. A few receivers on the outside as well are dynamic when they have the football in their hands. You have to take some of those advantage when they're passing the football tonight. Yarborough and Sorensen.
Yeah, there you see the starting lineup with Talib Tuttle, Yarborough, Crew Jones. A lot of guys, a lot of weapons. Mark Holcomb told us this week they've got 4 or 5 guys that can catch the football. They'll start on the ground here, a little misdirection, and this is Tuttle into the second level and gets 11, another first down. The first Crescent Ford first down of the night. Ride to the game in style with a new F-150 from Crescent Ford of High Point.
Interesting run that time. It looked like North Davidson was going to make a play on the backside, but Tuttle so patient that it almost hurt him and got him a loss. Able to stay upright. Good job following his blocks, setting him up.
This is Hart, Caden Hart, who gets the start here tonight, his 60th carry of the season. Hart's only a freshman, and he powers ahead for a couple yards.
And he's been pretty dynamic when he's been running the football so far this year, Chris. 247 yards coming to this one. He has 3 touchdowns tied for the team lead.
Oak Grove shuffling some personnel. Empty set here for Oak Grove. Little 3-step drop. And that one tipped. It might have been caught off the deflection, and it was. It was caught by Connor Sorensen, his 21st catch of the season. How about that for concentration?
Well, it's not raining. The field is still wet, though. It was pouring all day long. You're going to see it just tipped right there around the line of scrimmage. And again, it may have been tipped twice, actually, Chris, but Sorensen, presence of mind to look back and make a play on the football.
First third down of the night for Oak Grove. It's a gain of 5, brings up third down and 5. And whistles and a flag. It's our third infraction, and this might be a sideline warning. And it is a sideline warning against North Davidson. There's the North Davidson starting lineup. Talk about that front 4. It's been the secondary that's been the biggest question mark, though, for Brian Flynn's club.
You got to think, when you have a guy like number 42, and again, that's Tanner Jordan manning the middle of the defense, your front 7 is going to be really sound. But that secondary is going to have to be up to snuff here tonight.
Third down and 5. This way intercepted. It's picked off by North Davidson. And in this rivalry game, the first turnover belongs to the Black Knights. It's Ethan Snyder with his first pick of the year. 26 yards on the return. And there is a flag down as we take a look at the replay.
I'm just not sure that Creech saw him sitting there. I mean, he didn't go anywhere that time. And Snyder, who missed a block on the last offensive possession, makes up for it big time here with a huge pick and sets up his offense pretty already in plus territory.
If it stands, it'll be the 4th pick of the year for this North Davidson defense. And the first of the season for Snyder.
I'm not sure that Creech ever saw him sitting there. He didn't move at all. He dropped back into his zone. Right place at the right time. Fantastic call defensively by that coaching staff on the Black Knights sideline to put their players in the right position. And Snyder converts, makes the pick, and the offense is now set up.
There's Brian Flynn, the head coach at North Davidson in his 5th season as the head coach. Penalty was against this Black Knight return, so now they'll start on the ground, and a big run here for Xavion Hayes, dragging men with him, gets out near midfield. It's a pickup of 21 and another Crescent Ford first down.
Again, a little bit of pressure from this defensive front of the Grizzlies, not able to get back there and bring down the ball carrier. And off and running he was, saw it working the right side. You see that penetration, the stiff arm, shakes one man, makes another miss, and then he's off to the races.
Xavion Hayes, the junior, averaging 7 yards a carry so far this season. Back to the ground again. Hayes trying to bounce it outside and gallops across midfield with another flag down. Well, if you're a fan of the Yellow Hankies, this has certainly been the first quarter for you.
Sometimes you'll see that in some of these games that are affected by weather, just trying to get your footing.
Could this also be because of the rivalry nature? These two programs know each other so well, maybe both sides a little more amped up?
Well, obviously, I think there's a little more tenacity
Sure.
whenever you're playing against your rivals. Again, kids you went to school with growing up, now you're in separate areas, you are at separate schools, and you're playing against each other. It's not just a game to them, it's bragging rights. You can talk about this for the next year. This is your territory for another year. So when you come to these rivalry games, yeah, the stakes are a little bit higher, and it means a little bit more.
1st and 15 after the holding call. Gavin Hill, who's passed for 834 yards so far this season, will throw here, looking for a deep ball. Down the field, little one-on-one action, and it's caught. It's a first down for Reed Nicely. His 26th catch of the season. A pickup of 32 and a first down.
How about that pocket movement by Gavin Hill, stepping back, and you'll see here what rolls back out to his right, resets the pocket, gets his feet set, and delivers a strike down the field. What a play by the quarterback, Gavin Hill.
And now, first down, 10 to go here for this North Davidson offense. Looking for the first score of the game. Back to the ground. Xavion Hayes with another flag down, gets a couple of yards.
Two splash plays already on this drive for this North Davidson offense. They're working, they're cooking right now.
A little slow to get up behind the play there was Jamel Eller. Take a look at the infraction, which presumably is against North Davidson again. A holding call against the Black Knights. Boy, frustrating for Coach Flynn. Really talked about how he thought his team used that bye week a couple of weeks ago very effectively. This is a North Davidson team that's been hit hard by the COVID. Had a game canceled earlier this year. Played Montgomery Central last week, Mark. That was the first time all year going into that game on Monday that North Davidson had all of their players at practice. Don't think about that, but it's been a grind for everybody. First down and long. Another deep ball down the field, underthrown and knocked away. A good defensive play, maybe some contact there as Alex Naylor, the intended target.
Looked like it was good coverage on the back end. We're going to take another look at this one to see where it may have been at.
Take another look here.
I'll tell you what. Another deep ball, another good ball too, delivered by Gavin Hill. I don't know. A little bit of hand fighting, but a lot of times refs will let that go. Not much really play on the football that time.
Look, it was Landon Craddock who was in coverage there for Oak Grove. So a couple of deep shots now on this drive for North Davidson. What do you do here, second down and long? Well,
I think they're going to run.
Yeah, they'll go back to the ground. Xavion Hayes for just a couple of yards. Gain of 5 brings up third down.
And that is the bread and butter of this offense. You know, coming into this game, we kind of expected maybe some shots here and there, but you can see that this offense for North Davidson is attacking. They are aggressive right now in the nature in which they're playing, and they're making play calls. They're not shying away from this Oak Grove defense. I think apparently they can take advantage of them deep, and you see Oak Grove adjusting now, dropping 2 safeties back and a couple of the corners dropping back as well.
Behind the chains again on third down. Misfired on their first third down attempt of the night. 3rd and 16. Hill, another deep ball, got a man wide open for the score. It's Alex Naylor, and the Black Knights strike first. 40 yards, and North Davidson on the board.
Another strike from Gavin Hill, firing down the field. It just looked like this time the safety didn't drift over. He hadn't dropped back. This time Hill firing, looking downfield. Great presence, great patience, and able to find his man streaking down the field. Another great play and another deep shot that was connected on. And that time Alex Naylor is the beneficiary of it.
A Sunbelt Rentals touchdown. Sunbelt Rentals offering rental equipment locations across the Triad to quickly deliver ready-to-work equipment when and where you need it. And now the tremendous kicker, Riley Sullivan, on for the extra point. He is 10 of 13 in point afters this year. Now, this is a North Davidson team trying to get back to 500. You win tonight. If you're the Black Knights, you go to 2-0 in the conference. I mean, this has the potential, Mark, to be a big swing game for both of these clubs, both undefeated in the league, as North Davidson having to run some personnel, and Oak Grove as well, on and off the field.
But you're right. I mean, you got to think about some of the challenges that North Davidson has faced this scheduling-wise, the teams that they've played, not having players available. Of course, all of this is just a part of the landscape that we live in at the moment here in 2021. But trying to stay ready for that is almost impossible, and having an opportunity to be ready for a game on a regular schedule has to be pretty refreshing. Mark
Holcomb, who's missing tonight's game, the head coach of Oak Grove, told us the same thing. He said the most challenging part of this season has been the uncertainty, more uncertainty facing the Grizzlies tonight without their leader.
I mean, we hear that almost every week, too. It's just trying to find that familiarity, some sort of comfort level within the changing landscape that we've got right now. And North Davidson just finding some of that comfort. It looks like it's benefiting them here early on.
We'll have to reset the clock. 6:45 now is showing as Sullivan ready for the extra point. And gets it to go. So on the second drive of the game, all the lights on this North Davidson club. It's a 40-yard touchdown pass. Look at this thing of beauty from Hill, who connects with his great wide receiver, Alex Naylor. And it's a 7-point lead for North Davidson when you come back to Oak Grove. Our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals, presented by Roan Law, stops tonight in Oak Grove, where the North Davidson Black Knights out to the 7-0 lead mark. It was a really impressive drive there for North Davidson, considering they had a couple of setbacks with those penalties.
Yeah, a complete role reversal, too, from what we saw on the first drive. Them wanting to run the ball, a few short passes. It was a 3-and-out real quick on the first drive of the game, and just like that, North Davidson said, all right, we're going to literally flip the script. We're going to take some shots down the field. And 2 out of the 3 times they did it, they came up big, including the 40-yard touchdown strike.
Riley Sullivan ready to kick it away again. Another Arnold Jones kickoff, and no surprise, this one floats into the end zone for a touchback. All right, now for Oak Grove. Had an interception on your first drive after starting in positive territory. If you're on that Oak Grove sideline, offensive coordinator Jared Roloff's leading the offense tonight. What's his message to his offense here?
We're going to continue to do what we were doing anyways. Of course, just reading the defense a little bit better. I think the quarterback here, number 5, Creech, is going to be able to do that going forward. You got to think the first play from scrimmage was a first down run. A nice hefty run as well, so just continue to stay on schedule with what you're doing.
Talib Tuttle in there to start this drive. He gets the call and gets nothing. He's thrown back by this defensive front. Tanner Jordan, who we highlighted in the open, was in there to make the stop. Jordan, according to head coach Brian Flynn, plays every single game, Mark, like it's his last.
I mean, you talk about a guy who plays like his hair is on fire every single week. That's Tanner Jordan just coming in, the bell cow, the leader of this defense, tenacious on the field, and a sideline-to-sideline linebacker.
To throw over the middle, hauled in that time by Sorensen for a first down. First catch of the night, 21st of the year for Sorensen. It's a game of 21 and another Crescent Forward first down.
I'm talking about precision. That fired that ball in there. A little bit of mustard on it as well. Creech stepped into that throw and threw it accurately in between 2 defenders for North Davidson, no less.
Back to the ground, Tuttle again. Ball is out, and I believe Oak Grove pounced on it. They did. Almost another costly turnover for this Grizzly offense.
Again, the field's wet. It's not raining, but the field is still wet. So the ball is also still going to get wet every single time that ball touches the ground. And it's going to be on the ground before every play. So that ball is going to stay wet here tonight. It's going to be about making sure your ball security is on point and making sure you're wrapping that ball up.
Second down and 12. Back to the ground, bouncing off of one man. And then upended was Tuttle. Nice open field play that time by a couple of players, but it was Carlos Brown, the corner, up and run defense for North Davidson.
Nice little play there, too. It looked like Tuttle was going to get out of here for a nice little gain, but look at that. Just right around the legs, take out the running back. That's the way you make that tackle in space. Great job to cut him down.
Tuttle, the junior running back, 160 rushing yards on 33 carries this season. Another third down for Oak Grove. Over the middle, almost intercepted again. Jordan got his paw on it, trying to target Sorensen, but it's fourth down.
You can see the way that they are defending this passing attack right now for Oak Grove. It's about sitting your linebackers underneath in coverage and allowing them to work in space. Look right there again. This time it was Tanner Jordan, the all-everything linebacker for this defense. His teammate Ethan Snyder got one on the last drive, trying to get one for his own, but fourth down upcoming. Great job by the Black Knights defense.
Xavion Hayes back to receive this punt. The first of the night from Aiden Doherty, the sophomore kicker, who punts for the 12th time this year. Hayes off the hop. And runs into a pack of Bears. Pack of Grizzlies, if you will. Grizzly Bears. And they swarmed under at the 22-yard line. That's where Oak Grove will start defensively after a punt of 37 yards.
Good coverage. Running down the field and making the play, swarming to the football that time. So good job by the special teams. And now defensively, we're going to see some of the adjustments that Oak Grove made. Going to have to recognize what this offense did on the last drive, and maybe that opens up some of these running lanes they're going to start looking for if they continue to attack this defense deep with success.
Pretty balanced attack this year for North Davidson offensively, and I know that they haven't had maybe the success to show it, but averaging 176 yards a game through the air, 166 on the ground, and they'll start on the ground here with a gain of 2 for Xavion Hayes.
This is a team. Hayes coming into this one, 7.2 yards a carry. His backup, Jeremiah Walker, 5.6 a carry. So it's an offense that can move the ball on the ground. It's just going to be about finding some of that consistency through the air. And if it's anything like that last drive, they're going to find it here tonight.
A couple of huge pass plays on that last drive. One of them led to a score on the sweep. Hayes again tries to turn the corner and carries a man with him out to the 30-yard line. It'll bring up a third down and short, but another powerful run by the transfer from Lexington.
More often than not, you see a defense stringing a run out closer and closer to the sideline. It means they're doing their job. You see Hayes really trying to work to set up a block on the edge. Working, making sure, and Snyder getting out there, making the block. Hayes cut up underneath of him. Picks up some solid yardage there on second down.
Third down for North Davidson tonight. They had a touchdown pass on their last third down. They'll stay on the ground here with Xavion Hayes, who is spun down, but has enough for the first down.
Colin Frank shot through the gap on the left side of the offensive line. Nice play call, just on the wrong side. If he shoots in on the right side that time, makes the play in the backfield, but nice play call. Recognizing maybe some pressure from number 24 in all black, and made him pay with the first down run.
From the pistol this time. Play clock at 15 as the Black Knights shuffle through things offensively. Trip Honeycutt in his third year as the offensive coordinator. Snyder now split out to the right. Hill looking that way. A fly route for Snyder is underthrown and incomplete.
It's a little too far outside that time. Thrown to the sideline. The cheerleaders off towards the track, just a little bit off target. Don't know if the ball slipped, but just not a great pass down the field trying to find his tight end Snyder.
One of the things that Brian Flynn, the head coach of North Davidson, told us this week is his team has not done a great job competing against good teams. Almost through this entire first quarter, have to like the way his club has competed tonight.
Yeah, the energy level's been great outside of some of the penalties that they've had. It's been a pretty good night. It looks like maybe one of those has come out again.
Offside caught against Oak Grove. So second down and 10 now becomes second and 5. There is Brian Flynn, 16th year at North Davidson, was the offensive coordinator for Mark Holcomb, who obviously has done a phenomenal job building this Oak Grove program. It's still very much in its infancy as a program. Get into that as we move along this evening. Approaching the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds of a fast-moving first quarter, and Hill not ready for the snap. Just has to fall on that one. Brings up a 3rd down and 10.
Well, I'm not sure what exactly happened there. Maybe just some miscommunication up front. The center may have just heard the call for the snap to go back, but it definitely didn't look like Gavin Hill was expecting the snap at that point in time. It still had Hayes going back behind him in motion.
Is that on the, as a former offensive lineman, is that on the center or is that on the quarterback or a little bit of both?
Probably a little bit of both, but leans a little bit more towards the center. Still have to make sure you know what's going on in the backfield.
High snap. Hayes straight ahead. Lowers his head, takes a big hit, and picks up another 1st down. He's like one of those F-150s rumbling down the highway for a 1st down. A pickup of 14 to move the chain.
What a rough run that was. Great job up front, too, as well. The offensive line opening a huge hole in the middle of that Oak Grove defense. And Hayes splitting the gap and making a huge run there to pick up the 1st.
This pistol formation has been very effective. Another bobbled snap, and Hill just falls on it again.
Just got to wonder, you got to stay on schedule with what you're doing. And Hill being brought to the sideline, maybe to have a conversation about keeping your eye on the football. Make sure you corral that. Puts it on the ground for the 2nd time on this drive. And that's not going to get you the yards you need. It's not going to set you up with a position to take advantage of a defense that, frankly, this offense has been able to move the ball against here.
Final 75 seconds of the game's opening stanza. Behind schedule again offensively.
Maybe look to take a shot here. There's only 1 man back deep for Oak Grove.
They will pass. Hill loads up, and coming off of his route that time, appeared to be nicely trying to shake free, but it's 3rd down.
A little bit of miscommunication. Looked like Hill was anticipating nicely to break off a little sooner. That was going to be one of those anticipation throws and routes. A little comeback to the outside, but nicely just didn't get there in time.
Another 3rd down for North Davidson. Oak Grove trying to get off the field.
You got to know it's a passing situation here as well. This defense playing back a little deeper.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. A roll out here for Hill. Pump fakes. Got a man wide open. Ball underthrown and caught. And then pinned down at the 40-yard line. It's Nicely who shakes free for a big catch.
I don't know if Nicely was the intended target that time. The ball may have just slipped out. He was trying to take a shot down the field. Wasn't intended for Nicely, but nicely done by the receiver that time, making a play on the football. It looked like it was actually going to be intended for the other man down the field.
Naylor.
That was number 14, Baylor.
Naylor, who caught the touchdown pass earlier. And now it's 1st down and 10, back to the ground. This time it's Jeremiah Walker. And no surprise to anyone, there's a flag on the play. And another encroachment offside on the defense. We've seen a lot of infractions up front between these two teams tonight. What does that tell you about these teams in the trenches?
They're antsy. Realistically, this could be playing into that rivalry game scenario, that narrative that's built through these games with close friends and rivals. Just trying to get off the ball, fire off, and deliver that first blow. You gotta make sure you play within yourself, play in control.
1st and 5. A flare. This is Hayes. Trick play. Gonna fire to the end zone. Another score! It's Reed Nicely, his 3rd touchdown grab of the year. Hayes, who went into the season, was going to be the backup quarterback. He's got some arm strength, and the Lexington transfer connects with Nicely for the score.
It was just so set up beautifully that time by this North Davidson offense. He just kind of knew the way he had depth on the way that football was pitched back to him, room to work with, and is immediately dialed up, and Nicely streaking down the field wide open for the 2nd touchdown of the night for these Black Knights.
A Sunbelt Reynolds touchdown. Sullivan dots the extra point. Brian Flynn going deep into his bag of tricks. It's a little swing pass to Xavion Hayes, who's done everything for North Davidson tonight. The Black Knights lead by 14 late in the first quarter, and this rivalry matchup. Stay with us. More of our Carolina Classic Fair Friday night rivals presented by Roan Law when you come back. What a start to this opening stanza for North Davidson. Well, they're trying to explode onto the scene here in the conference. First year of a new conference against your rivals on the road, up 14-0, maybe getting some of that swagger back on that Black Knight sideline.
Yeah, you're talking about they want to explode. This offense has done that so far. They have erupted here on the last 2 drives, taking an opportunity to attack this defense down the field through the air, and they've come up big when it's mattered the most. Now this time a halfback pass for a touchdown.
Now another Arnold Jones Services kickoff from Riley Sullivan. That one will head into the end zone as well. And with 22.5 seconds to go, it's Oak Grove who gets the football back. Certainly feels like an important drive offensively for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, it's going to have to be points or bust here, because the way that this offense for North Davidson is playing right now, and the defense just seems to have no answers for what they are doing offensively, that is a nice trouble spot. However, with that being said, we know this is an offense that can put up points, and they can move the ball at will when they are doing what they're supposed to do.
Connor Creech has had a fairly nice game so far, minus the interception. They start on the ground, not much doing there on this running attack for the Grizzlies, and that might take us to the end of the opening period. Oak Grove does not have to run another play if they don't desire.
We'll tell you that Creech does not exactly inspire some intimidation on the ground. Only 32 yards on 29 carries into this one. So
1.1 yards per carry for number 5.
it's not negative.
The sophomore quarterback will get off one more play before the quarter break to the flat. Nice easy throw. Sidestepping a defender. And a nice catch by Ethan Yarborough. And that will take us to the end of the opening quarter. It's a good first quarter for North Davidson. The offense, a couple of big touchdown passes, including that trick play from Xavion Hayes, who connects with one of his big wide receivers, Reed Nicely. It's a 2-score lead for North Davidson, and we start the second quarter when you come back. Good first quarter for North Davidson, doing it all through the air. 5 of 9, 115 yards, a couple of touchdown passes. They lead by 14. Oak Grove gets the football, facing a third down. And how about this third down run? Shedding men with him. And out across midfield. It's a huge run for Caden Hart and a crescent forward first down.
That's an angry run right there, Chris. That's an angry run. Physicality up front by Caden Hart. Short third down to convert. He says, no, I'm going to take it a little bit longer than that. Good job reading his blocks and shaking off the tacklers going down the field. And that included Tanner Jordan. Took Jordan for a ride for a few yards.
A gain of 38, the longest run of the year for Caden Hart. And now Ethan Yarborough on the screen gets a couple of yards. How much does a throw like that, Mark, for a sophomore quarterback and Connor Creech, after an interception early in the game, settle him down?
Well, it's a good game plan to then go with, kind of reset your guys, not just him, but your receivers as well. Just allow them to build some confidence, get some rhythm, get some of that confidence back. So it's a nice play, and of course, if you get yards out of it, that's fantastic as well. So nice way to switch up the game plan and get Creech back into it.
And stoppage in play. I believe another flag here on Oak Grove. And a procedure penalty against the Grizzlies backs them up 5 yards.
Again, Creech is not a guy who's going to strike fear into the hearts of his opponents with his rushing ability. It's going to be how he impacts this game throwing the football. He's going to have to be effective there for Oak Grove, already down 2 touchdowns.
Coming up at halftime, we'll have the myspot.nc.gov halftime report, which will include this week's Scholar Athletes, interviews with each school's principals, highlights, and more. Second down coming up for Oak Grove. Little swing pass again. Almost an extension of the running game there for Oak Grove. It's Yarborough who makes the catch.
Got a few guys to block out on the edge as well, and you've got the weapons as well. Catching the football, receiving it to make it happen out on the edge as well.
Another third down here for Oak Grove. Trying to keep this drive alive. Creech rolls out and floats one into the flat. Another catch. And another crescent forward first down. Nice catch made by Patrick Stevens. Catch that. It's Jake Smith who makes the catch. Correction. Smith, the backup wide receiver, just a sophomore, his 7th catch of the year.
A nice catch that time. Creech put out in front of him a little bit, had to make a little bit more effort to go get that one, and Smith lay it on the line, goes gets himself a snag.
Another crescent forward first down. Check out the newest Ford trucks at crescentford.com. Oak Grove spreads the field, trips to the top of the screen. Man in motion. Creech pressured from behind. Running out of real estate. Gains just a couple.
Nice little way to avoid the sack in the backfield, though. Didn't see him coming initially. Thought he was going to get plastered, if I'm being honest with you. But Creech, alert, saw the defender coming and were able to roll out to the right side and pick up a few yards there on first down.
Mark Holcomb told us this week about his sophomore quarterback. Has really high football IQ, a student of the game. Was really thrown to the wolves in that spring season as a freshman last year, but has found his timing. Nice leader of the offense. On the ground with Hart. And not much there. Going to bring up third down.
I do think it's interesting, though, when we talk to different coaches about that spring season and how it was viewed, their perspective on it. And you'll hear usually one of two things. Either A, we were still trying to win a championship, or B, we took it as an opportunity to really grow, to develop, and make sure our roster was fleshed out and ready to go for the fall. And Oak Grove was one of those teams.
Another third down, design draw here for the quarterback. And Creech will be stopped short of the marker. It'll bring up a fourth down and decision time here for Oak Grove.
I think that's a play call that we're seeing because of the 1 interception and then 2, the almost interception on the next drive after that for Creech. A little safer play call. Live to play another down and give yourself a chance here on fourth down.
Do you go for it here?
It looks like they are. Maybe a timeout call to rethink that decision a little bit.
No head coach Mark Holcomb for Oak Grove, so they're going to talk about it here with their acting head coach, defensive coordinator Rob Creason. And as Oak Grove talks about it, we'll step aside. Fourth down and short for Oak Grove. Down by 14. A big play coming up when you return to our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals presented by Rowan Law. 4th down and 2 for Oak Grove, down 14, Mark. Ball in positive territory for the Grizzlies. You're almost in no man's land. What's the play call here for Oak Grove with the offense coming back in?
I think running the football has been really good for them so far here tonight. And on this drive, we've seen them finally establish some sort of presence, a little bit of rhythm offensively. I don't hate the call going for it here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a run. They're going 5 wide.
An empty set here.
And that's not your normal quarterback.
This is Josh Yoakley, the backup quarterback, who's going to take the run, and I don't think he got it. North Davidson stands tall defensively in the second period. Look, it was Sam Wassler, the outside linebacker, that got in there first.
You know, I know it's your backup quarterback, but you got to think that this defense sees another player back there other than number 5 in black. And you're thinking it's almost like a Wildcat situation. It's going to be a run working up the middle. That's a telltale sign. Great recognition by the Black Knights defensively and way to get off the field by making the play.
Do you take a shot down the field after this if you're North Davidson?
I would, because they're still playing one back. This Oak Grove team does not seem to fear that deep pass, and they've already been burnt 3 to 4 times tonight already.
Single coverage at the bottom of your screen, too, and just one safety up top for Oak Grove.
They're going single coverage across the board.
5 on the play clock. They will take a shot in single coverage, looking for Nicely, who makes another great catch. Flag is down 2. Might be pass interference, but Nicely, who already has 1 touchdown grab tonight, makes another big catch if it stands.
Well, we're going to see a lot of contact down the field that time. They might get Nicely for a push-off here. A little bit of space created by the extending arm.
Yeah, they're going to get offensive pass interference here.
I think that's a pretty good call. Good job by the officials to spot that one.
Gavin Stinson was in coverage for Oak Grove, but now that certainly changes the dynamic of this drive for the Black Knights.
Nicely just trying to use that big frame that he's got. 6'3", 185. It's a tall young man there, the junior, trying to make a play for his offense, but you got to make sure you're doing it the right way. Just creating a little bit too much space that time with the arm extension, and it cost them. But another deep shot for this offense of North Davidson. They are attacking this secondary of Oak Grove.
Back to single coverage. Instead, a read option, and not much doing that time on the ground. It was Hayes who got the call and gets maybe a yard.
Talking about the rushing attack of the quarterbacks, already spoke a little bit about Creech and how he's not the greatest runner in the world. Well, you look on the other side, Gavin Hill has negative 10 yards rushing on the year, so 2 pocket passers really in their own right.
And one of the things that Brian Flynn, the head coach of North Davidson, told us this week is that Gavin Hill's got to make more throws this week, and he seems to have stretched the defense very nicely.
And you can see the confidence. He's not just taking shots down the field hoping someone gets it. He is firing it out there.
Another shot for Nicely, another big catch, and another first down for North Davidson. A pickup of 41 for the Black Knights.
6'3", 185, and he's got wheels, does Nicely. Another streak down the field. North Davidson's not backing down. I mean, they are taking these shots because they know they can win one-on-one. And Nicely, for the second play out of 2, or rather, excuse me, the second play out of 3, is connected with deep. This time it stands, no penalty.
All right, for more on the great quarterback, Gavin Hill, will go down to the field and say hi again to Hannah.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, we talked to Coach Brian Flynn earlier this week, and we asked him how proud he was of his quarterback, and he said, he's just done a phenomenal job. He said before the game against Montgomery Central, he said, hey, Coach, before we go watch film, I need to go take my liquid chemo, and he said that really puts things into perspective. So he's been a phenomenal leader for this team tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Hannah. Really all season. Diagnosed with neuroblastoma in 2014. The tumor was the size of a fist. Had it removed in 2015, came back, still able to play, in great spirits. Hannah mentioned it, lives a normal life, but you certainly have to think about that. And you think about Gavin Hill and having to take that liquid chemo 2 hours before kickoff. Just unbelievable what he's going through and the success that he's had for this North Davidson club.
You got to think about some of the challenges he goes through here on the football field. The fortitude that he had to overcome something like that is going to be insurmountable compared to what some of the things he sees here on the field. He's a great kid.
Back to the ground for Jeremiah Walker. Strung out, and will lose a yard.
And to his point right now, Gavin Hill might be having the best game of his season so far. I mean, he is commanding this offense up front. He's playing with confidence, a little bit of bravado, firing down the field and attacking this secondary of Oak Grove, knowing his guys are going to go get it, and he's going to put the ball in a spot where only they're going to get it.
Halfway through this second quarter, another third down for North Davidson. They've converted 4 of their 5 opportunities on third down this evening.
Nisley is at the bottom of the screen. Watch him one-on-one.
Power play. Straight ahead. And a nice run for Jeremiah Walker. And he'll be close to the marker. Will depend on the spot.
Maybe just a little bit short that time. Walker looked like he was going to get stopped well short of the first down, too. But a little second effort there puts it a lot closer to the first down mark. You see it here. Just hits a wall right there, but keeps his legs going and falls forward, giving this team a chance. But I'm going to see. You got to expect a power run here. The aspect of this offense has been so consistent all year, if there has been one, has been the rushing attack.
Offense stays on the field, needs half a yard. North Davidson 3 out of 8 on 4th downs this year. Straight ahead, and should be good enough for the marker. Again, needed the 40, and looks like they got it. It appeared to be Walker who might have lowered his head first.
I'm not sure, because Tanner Jordan was also in the game that time. He was one of those fullbacks.
Yeah, it was Jordan who got the call, Mark. You're right. And now Mickey Holloman will eyeball it and signal a first down. Check out the newest Ford trucks at CrescentFord.com after that Crescent Ford first down.
Just a nice play. You see here, really quick handoff. Tanner Jordan right there. Number 42, the all-everything linebacker on defense, now gets a handoff and a carry, and it moves the sticks and keeps this ever-important drive going for this offense of North Davidson.
And all 3 losses for North Davidson this year, they've scored less than 20 points in all 3 games. Trying to hit that 20-point plateau early in the second quarter. To the ground again. Walker is again brought down for a loss. Might have got back to the original line of scrimmage. Either way, a tough run for Jeremiah Walker, the senior.
A really good job by Walker. The effort on that one. 2 guys, 2 defenders for Oak Grove, bottling him up on the outside, just taking them both on. Rolls off that contact and may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. So was it a big gain? No. Was it a gain at all? No. But continuing to fight like that and pick up as many yards as possible is so important as this game rolls on.
More single coverage at the bottom of your screen. That's Nicely, who's had a big game already. A couple of big catches on this drive.
These wide receivers at the top, too. This trips formation, very nice little bunch sitting in there. Might confuse with some of these routes.
2 on the play clock. And they're not going to get it off. Did North Davidson spend the timeout? Let's wait and see. And I believe just before, no, they did not get the timeout. It's a delay of game caught on North Davidson.
It's been probably the one biggest bugaboo about this offense to this point. This game as a whole has been the amount of flags that have flown already. North Davidson moving the ball, but not able to get the snap off there before the play clock goes off. That falls on the shoulders of your quarterback, number 9 there, Gavin Hill, as well as your coaching staff. Everyone has to be aware of what's going on the field.
Less than 4 minutes to go first half. A second down and long for North Davidson. We'll go back to Hayes on the ground, who gets just 2.
So now 3rd and long. And really where this offense has hit this defense hardest tonight, those deep throws. It's going to have to be the play call here. They have to go down the field and pick up at least 15 yards. They're going to have to attack deep.
We mentioned Nicely, who's been a big target tonight. 5 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Is he the target here on 3rd down?
You got to think, again, he's at the bottom of your screen, but they've got some coverage rolled back. There's 3 guys dropped back deep at the first down marker.
Instead, to the ground, Xavion Hayes with a flag down. Scampers out of bounds. Will be in the neighborhood of another hold. And just a pair of yards here for Hayes for the moment.
Got to think maybe this will be declined by this coaching staff. A huge 4th down upcoming, but a long one at that. I'd have to think that North Davidson might not try to take a chance.
Well, they are going to accept the penalty, it appears. Perhaps trying to play the field position game.
Marking back a little bit further.
But now 3rd down and basically to Parkland High School for the first down. You have to throw here, don't you?
And there are 4 Grizzlies, or there were, now 3 drop back deep. Still close to the original line of scrimmage, if not a little further back as well. They know what's going to happen here. It's another deep shot.
Field position game here, perhaps. Xavion Hayes trying to turn the corner. Xavion Hayes lowers his head, gets the penalty yards back. It'll be 4th and 10. It's a gain of 13 yards, but we'll see what North Davidson wants to do. Probably a little bit too far for a field goal. Might just punt it away.
Yeah, I think they are just going to punt it away. Nice run here by Hayes. Not enough to pick up the first down. Still, you get those penalty yards back to the original line of scrimmage. So now it makes punting the ball a little bit easier here, a little less room to work with, and pin this offense of Oak Grove back deep with something to work with. A little under 2.5 minutes left in the half.
But a nice stand for this Oak Grove defense, too.
Yep.
Down 14 points. I feel like you probably couldn't fall behind any further. High snap, sails over the head of Sullivan, and great field position for Oak Grove.
So it's interesting because we saw a few high snaps in the last drive with the punt. Another one here comes back to bite the Black Knights.
So Oak Grove will have it in great field position when we come back. Latter stages of the first half in this rivalry game. Stay with us. More from Oak Grove when you return. Stay tuned for the myspot.nc.gov halftime report coming up in about 2 minutes of game action. We'll have this week's Scholar Athletes. Hannah will chat with both the principals, and we'll have highlights and more. Over the middle, a tremendous catch again by Connor Sorensen for another crescent forward first down. That slant route over the middle has been very effective for the Grizzlies tonight.
It's where they've gotten into some trouble, and it's also where they've found a little bit of success. 2 passes knocked down, 1 intercepted, but they have found some of those open routes down the field. Seems to be the go-to route for this offense, but already starting in plus territory with 2 minutes left, they've got room to work.
Creech rolls out, floats one down the middle, intercepted for the second time tonight by this North Davidson defense. This time it's Alex Naylor with the interception and a late flag for a little extracurricular after the play.
And I'll tell you what, that's the second time this game that they have run that route. Oak Grove has, and this time Naylor able to come up and read it, make a play over the top. What a play by number 14. Has a touchdown and now a pick in this one.
And we'll wait and sort out this dead ball infraction. There was some pushing and shoving after the play on the near sideline. And the dead ball is against Oak Grove, so 15 extra yards for North Davidson. We talked about it at the start of the game. This secondary for North Davidson, much maligned. They had to make some personnel and schematic changes, Mark. But the second pick for the secondary tonight.
And you can see it there that the pass was telegraphed that time by Creech, just trying to throw down the field. It looked wide open, but Naylor coming down from his safety spot, coming down, jumping the route and reading the play, read it the entire way. Just nowhere to go that time. But when you're rolling out like that, you're taking away half the field as you go along with it. There's not a whole lot of places to go. You have to understand, if it's not there, then there's a chance it could get intercepted. Throw the ball away and live to play another down.
And there's an injured Oak Grove player down on the sideline as well. Unable to make out the number at this point. Looks like it's Talib Tuttle, the starting running back, who's a little shaken up.
That'd be a pretty big.
Huge loss.
Yeah, it really would be. You talk about Tuttle, he is the second leading rusher on this team, averaging a little under 4 or 5 yards a rush. He's been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to his name as well. He's been one of those guys in the backfield that's been super reliable.
Appears to be okay, trying to shake it off. And now from midfield, a chance for North Davidson to really change the complexion of this game as we inch toward halftime.
Yeah, well, this defense for North Davidson too. For as much as we talked about the offense and the fireworks it's provided, the defense has been sensational here in the first half.
Now the 2 wins for North Davidson, they've scored over 50 points in each of their 2 games, so it's a high-octane offense when they get going. Hayes has certainly been going tonight, has a touchdown pass, and now hurdles a man. He's going to lose some yards. I think that's going to be a flag on Hayes. I don't believe you're allowed to hurdle in high school football.
You are not, but it provides for a spectacular highlight. See some of the athleticism that time by Hayes out on the edge.
The transfer from Lexington, powerful runner in the words of his head coach Brian Flynn, only a junior, could certainly attract some attention moving forward. And a lot of chatting from Mickey Holloman. It'll instead be just a hold against North Davidson.
Well, I think they got North Davidson for a hold towards the beginning of the play.
And the hurdle.
Right.
So I believe one of the fouls, probably the holding foul, will be refused. There's holding against North Davidson. That is declined. And then a personal foul against Xavion Hayes for hurdling the defender.
Right.
So all that a 15-yard loss. And with 105 seconds left, first down and long as we take another look.
You can see here, you talk about the power. He's got speed, too, around the edge and just the athleticism. It's illegal, but it's still impressive to watch.
First down and long.
Of course, the meaning behind players not being able to hurdle, it's a safety.
It is. You saw Jamil Eller there, the defender, coming up as Hayes was trying to hurdle him. I mean, it could create a very bad issue for all parties involved. This time, staying on the ground as Xavion Hayes is pinned down. Brings up a second down, final minute and a half.
One of those few times that we've seen Xavion Hayes go backwards. Usually tonight he's been falling forward, just trying to make a play that time, but that defense for Oak Grove swarmed to the football. Number 11 had nowhere to go and just got blasted backwards that time.
Second down and long. Remember, Oak Grove gets the football to start the third quarter. What do you want to see out of this drive for North Davidson in the last minute of the half?
We'll control the football. It kind of seems like that's the route they're going with. Oak Grove only has the 2 timeouts, but now underneath a minute, just controlling the football.
Plenty of time for Gavin Hill, and that one nearly intercepted. Trying to target Ethan Snyder, the tight end. Good coverage by Crew Jones.
Yep. Jumped that route too. Again, telegraphed that time. You see Hill locking in. One receiver on that side. Nice play on the football that time. But again, I'd like to see if you're going to run a few times on the first couple of downs, you're not going to commit to scoring on this drive. Why even put the ball in the air that time?
Third down and long. Clock is stopped. Play clock is rolling. North Davidson has to certainly get it in gear here with 10 on the play clock.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to call a timeout.
So let's go inside the 2 huddles here. Less than a minute for the first half. We already talked about the strategy for North Davidson perhaps over the last 54 seconds of the half. For Oak Grove, if you're the defensive coordinator, Rob Creason, the acting head coach, what are you telling your squad?
Well, pin down and make sure we don't allow anything to go over the top. It looks like North Davidson still has 2 timeouts left. And there's just under a minute left with those 54 and a half seconds. So they can still take a shot down the field, get themselves going yet again out past midfield. They have to get to the 40 of Oak Grove to pick up the first down. So don't allow anything to get over your head. And if you are North Davidson, you're looking to create those one-on-one matchups that have been so favorable for you so far in this game. Even on that last play before the timeout was called, there was only one Oak Grove defender back deep. And the rest of the guys were manned up across the board towards the line of scrimmage. So you got to look for those one-on-one matchups.
Talk about the layers of this game earlier. Rob Creason, the defensive coordinator, acting head coach for Oak Grove tonight, played at North Davidson, has been with Mark Holcomb since he graduated from Charlotte in 2014. He's the acting head coach now, doing a great job tonight running the ship here in the absence of the head man for North Davidson, for Oak Grove. After the timeout, This is Jeremiah Walker, and gets out near midfield. He'll still be very shy of the marker. Will bring up 4th down. And I believe Oak Grove will spend a timeout here with 45 seconds.
Good timeout. Again, you have a little bit of room and time to work with. But the passing attack has not been something that has inspired some faith if you are the Oak Grove Grizzlies so far in this one. The Creature's going to have to find his guys running down the field. If you're going to take this timeout, that means you're selling out to put some points on the board before the half. And expect this defense from North Davidson to drop back and play those deep passes. Again, you can give up ground, but as long as you're not allowing them to get into the end zone, that's where it really matters. Did a terrific job all half. You're up 14-0.
If you're North Davidson here, do you think about taking a shot? Because even if it's 4th down, you could be just as good as a punt here, and maybe you get somebody free.
I wouldn't keep your offense on the field here.
You would punt it?
I would punt it away. And seemingly, in kind of what we were watching in the pregame warm-ups, the special teams units for North Davidson, outside of what we've seen so far here tonight, snapping the football seems to have been an issue, but punting the football is not going to be an issue. Punter's got a nice big leg, able to put something behind that football and maybe work that coffin corner kind of kick.
Riley Sullivan back deep to punt it away. That one nearly blocked, gets off a short punt.
May have been tipped.
And off the 30-yard line, that's where Oak Grove will start. Remember that the Grizzlies get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, but down 14. How do you expect Oak Grove to attack this final 30 seconds of the half?
Well, making sure you're still taking care of the football while you're trying to take those shots down the field. Spread this defense out. See what they're going to present. Again, they got 2 safeties back right now, but spread them out. Allow your receivers to work.
It will start on the ground. Ball nearly popped out, and that might just tell you the way Oak Grove wants to play the final 30 seconds of the half. Caden Hart in there in the running back position. No Talib Tuttle. We'll see if Hannah can get us an update early in the 3rd quarter on Tuttle. And Oak Grove may just want to regroup for the final 24 minutes.
It seems like they're pretty content to do that.
And they do not have to run another play. And as a matter of fact, they will not. So that'll take us to the end of the 1st half. Hannah will get in position to grab Brian Flynn here in just a moment. But a really big 1st quarter for North Davidson. They connected on a couple of big plays, Mark, and they have a 14-point lead as we head to intermission.
Just a great half. Really overall, North Davidson able to fire away quickly and get up 14-0 in a hurry and able to coast really for the rest of the 1st half there. But an excellent job offensively, and defensively they were spectacular.
Brian Flynn heading over to get into position. A lot to like for this North Davidson club, who 2-3 on the season, had to regroup, had a bye week a couple of weeks ago, and really feel like they're starting to hit their stride in the last part of the season. Hard to believe we've just got a handful of weeks left in the high school football campaign, but Brian Flynn's club certainly played well in the 1st half. And again, he will visit with Hannah Brady here in just a second as she gets into position. And I think Hannah is just about ready to stand by with the head coach of North Davidson, getting everybody into position here.
Really do have to credit that coaching staff, though. They coached up an excellent 1st half. Good play calling as well.
And Brian Flynn has to certainly be happy with this 14-point lead, and he's standing by now with Hannah Brady. Hannah?
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with head coach Brian Flynn. Coach, a couple penalties in the 1st half. What are you hoping to see coming back out in the 2nd?
Yeah, Hannah, those penalties are killing us. They are. A lot of self-inflicting wounds. I think right now we're going to go with the theme is we're stopping ourselves a little bit too much. We're glad to be up and fortunate to be up, but if we clean that up, we're going to like the 2nd half.
And then you've had a really good ball movement on the offense. How are you hoping to continue that coming back out?
Well, it's just a little bit about execution. We're getting really good play from Gavin. He's making some good throws. They're giving us some one-on-one matchups, and we're taking advantage of those.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the 2nd half.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Chris, back to you.
All right, Hannah, thanks a lot. We'd like to take a moment now to pay special tribute to someone close to our Friday Night Rivals family. We'd like to thank Crescent Ford and the Birchie family for being such big supporters of high school football and our Friday Night Rivals broadcast.
My 48 and Friday Night Rivals honors the memory of Mr. Clinton Owen Birchie. Owen was born July 19, 1950 in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and recently passed away this week. Owen, who is the owner of Crescent Ford, was a charter sponsor and big supporter of Friday Night Rivals and did a lot for the High Point community and high school sports. He was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather. My 48 says thank you to Owen Birchie for the example he set and the legacy he left behind.
My first.
Certainly thank Crescent Ford and all of our friends that are part of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast. A 14-point lead for North Davidson at the break, and we'll have more halftime coverage right after this.
Throughout the 2021 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals season, Biscuitville will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each participating school with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Biscuitville Scholar athletes are from Oak Grove High School, Patrick Stevens. Oak Grove High School's Patrick Stevens is a four-sport athlete and the senior class president. He's also the vice president for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and on the National Honor Society. Patrick volunteers his time delivering meals with the Hope Food Truck. And from North Davidson High School, Madison Coop. North Davidson's Madison Coop is captain of the tennis team and was named All-Conference for lacrosse all 4 years. She qualified as a junior marshal and is an active member at her church, providing assistance to communities on multiple mission trips. Patrick, Madison, and other nominated students are competing for a $5,000 Biscuitville Ultimate Student Athlete Scholarship to be awarded at the end of the season. Since 1966, Biscuitville has been serving up authentic Southern food made fresh from locally sourced ingredients. Stop by a Biscuitville near you for the flavor of local.
Welcome back to the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. I'm now joined with Maria McGee. She is the principal of North Davidson High School. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I know you guys have a career center. What is the role and purpose of that?
Okay, so the late Leanne Tuttle Thomas, the former director of CTE in Davidson County Schools, started these career centers in Davidson County. So as North Davidson was her alma mater, she taught and coached at North Davidson. She started the program here at North Davidson. Starting small, she wanted a program in all of the high schools. So the purpose of the career centers They have multiple purposes. So we help students with college applications, the FAFSA form, helping them with job applications and resume writing. But we also are partnering with local businesses and manufacturing companies around the area. And so making sure that our students are future focused and ready for those careers when they graduate high school.
That's amazing. And I know you guys partner with the Davie Community College.
We do.
How does that, help students while they're in high school prepare them for the future?
So right now we currently have over 90 students taking classes at Davidson Davie Community College, both in college transfer program as well as their CTE programs. And so that partnership helps our students financially. They don't have to pay as much when they go to college. But my goal in partnering with them and increasing that partnership is making sure that our students who choose not to go to a four-year university are prepared for those jobs, and we help them prepare for those jobs by going to the community college.
That's amazing. And are there any other programs you want to highlight?
Right, so yeah, I would love to talk about our public safety course. So in 2007, the state of North Carolina, seeing a need for more public safety officers in the state, created these public safety courses. So there's only 106 high schools in the state of North Carolina to offer these programs. Wow. 62 of those programs are fire safety, and 2 of those are here in Davidson County.
That's amazing.
One at Central Davidson and one at North Davidson. And so we bring students in from all across the district, and so when they graduate from our fire safety program, they're certified to be a volunteer fireman, or firefighter, excuse me, or they can go on to earn those credentials to work at a firehouse and be a fireman.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we appreciate all you do and for being here to speak with us tonight.
Thank you, I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll be right back with more after this next break. Welcome back to the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. I'm now joined with Oak Grove Principal Scott Dalton. Principal Dalton, thanks so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us, and thank you guys for being here.
Absolutely. And so I know that you guys opened up in 2017. What is the culture that you tried to establish here, and what does it mean to be OG?
Well, I think for us, anytime you have an opportunity, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to open a new school, very unique experience, and it's also a tremendous responsibility. But one of the things that made it unique was a chance to establish a culture. We didn't have to rebuild. We had a blank slate, and we got to create. So we tried to create a culture that was based on positivity, strong relationships, collaboration, and high expectations. And to do that, we tried to involve all of our stakeholders. We tried to build partnerships, involve our parents and our kids in decision making, tried to establish an identity, build school pride, and create customs and traditions that were unique to us. And together we did kind of define what it means to be OG. And for us, that means a commitment to excellence, trying to be the best in everything that we do. More importantly than what we do is how we do it. And being OG to us means family, establishing standards for those who come after us, and just creating a school that will be a source of pride for our community.
That's awesome. And so I know since being a new school, you've had a lot of academic success. So what are some of those achievements that you want to highlight, you know, that your faculty and staff have really done for your school?
Sure. On the note of collaboration, our students and staff, our staff is top-notch, second to none, and they've worked very well together to achieve some high goals early. Certainly, we're in education is a data-driven business, and we've got some excellent, test scores. Our graduation rate is something we're very proud of. We're really proud of the programs we're building. From our AP classes to online classes and a partnership with a community college. Our core courses, very, very strong, and we have some very unique career and technical education programs. We have a culinary academy, a welding program, a robotics program, so we have a lot of things going on. And for us, I think what we're trying to do is help all of our students reach their short and long-term goals, and so it's been fun to watch that.
Absolutely, and not to mention academic success, but also athletic success. How proud of this team are you?
Well, we're extremely proud, and just proud of our overall program. Going into year 5, as team accomplishments, we've had several conference championships, some regional championships, and a state championship already in our short history. Individuals, we've had some students that have gone on, student athletes, to win conference regional, and we've had some state runner-ups, and I think what we're proudest of is in our first 4 years we were a member of the Central Carolina 2A Conference, and we won multiple Cushwa Cups, which is a measure of athletic excellence, but also we won multiple England Cups, which is awarded to the team with the best sportsmanship. So, awarded for, again, what we did on the field, but also how we did it. So very excited about that, and excited about our first year in the Mid-Piedmont 3A Conference.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you being here tonight, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Earlier before the game, we had a chance to speak to one of our sponsors from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and here's what they had to say. Welcome back. I'm now joined with Carell McRae, the Senior Program Manager for COVID Response. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about what your role is and who you are?
Yes, again, my name is Carell McRae. I'm one of the Senior Program Managers, and one of my roles is to work closely with the Governor and the Secretary to make sure we are getting people vaccinated and going into nice events, and just talking to folks and making sure they understand the barriers, or we understand their barriers, if you will. And then making sure that we keep our eye on equity as well, and making sure we get into those hard-to-reach neighborhoods and communities, and making sure we meet people where they are in terms of what their needs are.
So that's amazing. Can you update us on the stats of COVID currently in our area?
Yeah, just so real briefly, we still seeing the case rates at a higher rate than what we would like to see. So one way we can get that down is that we get folks vaccinated as well as wearing a mask. So one of the things that we are doing is to make sure that people know where to go, and if there are events going on in their neighborhoods, to make sure they understand how to get there, if they need resources to get there. If they do happen to test positive, they get before getting vaccinated, what does that look like for them? So we really are putting our boots on the ground, here with you tonight, just really making sure that we do our part.
And with that in mind, where can people go if they would like to get vaccinated?
There are different places that you go. One of the best places to stay informed about what the resources are in your area is through the local health department, as well as if you have the resources to visit NCDHHS online, and you can just Google those resources or view those resources, and we'll see if we can get you connected.
Awesome. And so you're vaccinated. Would you like to share about why you chose to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. So family is important to me.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we want to make sure is that we protect our elders in our family, as well as the kids, which changing soon, that they're able to stay protected, as well as if they're not able to get vaccinated. So that was one of the reasons that pushed me to get vaccinated.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate all you do and for being here and giving us all this information. And we'll be right back more after this next break.
3-0 lead for North Davidson here at the break. Let's go down to the field. Hannah standing by with the acting head coach of Oak Grove, Rob Creason. Hannah?
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with Coach Rob Creason. Coach, what was your message, talking to your team over there, to come back out and play hard in the second half?
We just got to take care of the football. I mean, take care of the football, eliminate big plays. Hey, that's the story of this game. We're playing good first and second down and giving up big plays, and we just can't do that. Not against a good team like these guys.
Well, thanks, Coach, and we wish you the best of luck in the second half.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Chris.
All right, Hannah, thanks so much. It was a big first half. As we take a look back, Mark, at the first half highlights. Early in the game, this North Davidson defense gets involved with a big interception.
Yep, defensively, the Black Knights played stellar in the first half, and it all started early on with that huge turnover early in the first quarter.
Xavion Hayes sets the tone on the ground for North Davidson, and then to the air, a couple of big throws. You heard Coach talk about it just a moment ago. A big couple of throws by Gavin Hill. This is the first touchdown pass of the night to Reed Nicely. And then how about this one? Coming up in just a second, a little trickeration here after Hayes gets the big carry, pulls his way near midfield, and then another long touchdown throw. Sets things up here for North Davidson. There's the trickeration all the way to the end zone for Alex Naylor in the big touchdown.
Just another one of those huge passing plays for this offense that they had so much success with in the first half. Another example here, Nicely down the field.
And Nicely had a big first half, over 100 receiving yards in that opening half of play. Again, another big catch for Nicely.
Just the MO, exactly what the offense did in the first half, and they were so effective doing it. And even when plays didn't count, like this hurdle from Hayes, you just saw some of the speed, the athleticism, and the dynamic ability of this offense.
All right, it's a 14-point lead. Oak Grove gets the football back when we return to start the third quarter after this on the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals presented by Roan Law.
Stevens.
14-point lead for North Davidson here at the break. Take a look back, Mark, at some of the first half stats, and that starts to tell the numbers of just how balanced North Davidson was in the opening 24 minutes.
And it's crazy, though, because you see the passing yards at 104. That doesn't even count all the big plays that they had. Rushing the ball, they were fantastic up front. Oak Grove just has to find something on offense to find some consistency.
2 turnovers did not help the cause for the Grizzlies, as they will start from the 20-yard line to open up the third quarter of play. Saw a lot of penalties in that first half. You heard Brian Flynn tell Hannah at halftime, self-inflicted wounds. I think North Davidson feels like they could probably be up by a couple more scores as we go down to Hannah with an injury update. Hannah?
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, number 27, he was hit in the head in one of the plays, and now he is not going to return to the game with a possible concussion. So that could be a potential loss for Oak Grove.
Yeah, big loss if Talib Tuttle not able to come back. The dynamic junior running back. Thanks, Hannah. Instead, a little swing pass to start the third quarter. Nice extension of the running game there. Ethan Yarborough with a handful of yards. Picks up 3, brings up second down.
It's one of those plays that we saw a little bit more after the first 2 drives for Oak Grove. Some of those swing passes, screens.
Yep.
Just allow them to get some yards and find some comfort.
A couple of interceptions thrown by Connor Creech, the sophomore quarterback in that first half. You wonder how things might change. Another bubble screen, this one dropped by Connor Sorensen. Oak Grove saying that, or North Davidson saying they have the football. Certainly appeared to be an incomplete pass from here. And now the officials will have to sort this out, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass. That's a nice job by Mickey Holloman and this officiating crew to come in and sort things out, although a little bit late as we watch the replay.
You see here, a couple of steps made. I could see the argument being made that time for a fumble, but I think they got the call right with the incomplete pass.
I just don't think that, for me, that Sorensen had complete control of the football there.
Are we going to say football move?
Football move, exactly.
Yep.
Third down coming up. Yarborough in motion. A throw here to the outside. Catch made, but on second effort, a first down here for Oak Grove. It's Jake Smith with his second catch of the game.
Had a nice first catch, diving attempt in the first half, and now comes up big. Interesting to see North Davidson, a lot of what they did in the first half was sitting those linebackers in zone coverage underneath. And that time, nice play call by Oak Grove to break outside and get outside of that zone coverage.
Crescent Ford first down. Test drive a new EcoSport at Crescent Ford and High Point. It's got the things you need to do the things you've always wanted. And a nice first down run here for the Grizzlies as they fight their way ahead.
This one just might be what their offense has to be here in the second half. A little more meticulous, slow the game down, go in small chunks, not trying to get that massive play and all those yards all at once.
Connor Creech on the run there. Gain of 5, second down and medium here.
And that's fine. They need to start pounding away at this defense for North Davidson. A lot of the times they were really asserting their physicality on this game in the first half. They need to flip the script here now if you are the Grizzlies of Oak Grove.
Another empty set. Quick out, tipped, and off the deflection, another catch. It's the second time tonight we've seen a tipped ball caught. And this time it's Landon Dixon, the junior, who makes his first catch of the year.
I'll tell you what, just the concentration, finding the football in the air. A high throw this time actually was tipped off the defender's hands that time.
Yeah.
Smith was the man he was intending to throw to. Like Snyder, number 7 for North Davidson, got in on the football, tipped it, but great catch and concentration on the back end.
Correct what I just said. It was Dixon with his 4th catch of the season, not his first of the year, first of this game. And now a power run here for Creech. Moves out toward midfield, and another first down. It was actually Hart that got the call.
Seen that from Hart a few times in the first half, that power running ability, not going down on first contact. You see it here, nice vision, bouncing it outside, and then getting his shoulders upfield and finishing the run off by dragging a few of those Black Knights along with him for a few extra yards.
First down and 10 on the right side of the 50. Another Crescent Ford first down. Oak Grove on the move here, wearing those camouflage uniforms to start the third quarter.
Got to think that they're going to continue to go with that methodical approach.
It's Hart again straight ahead, and another powerful run. Hart's kind of become the bell cow here and has to be with Tuttle out for the rest of the game.
I'm going to put it on his shoulders, and right now he's accepting that workload and doing the best he can with it. Just such a powerful run. Hart coming in here and playing with a lot of physicality to open up half number 2.
Second down and short. I guess who it is. It's Hart who totes the mail again and powers his way near another first down. Will once again depend on the spot, but I think they're going to mark him maybe half a yard short.
Be interesting to see what the play call is here on 3rd and short. Maybe this is a no man's land situation now coming up. They're about half a yard shy of that first down, or excuse me, a whole yard shy of that first down marker. I'll be interested to see what the play call is here on 3rd.
3 of 6 on 3rd downs tonight. Back to Hart. Trying to run downhill, Mark, and he might have got just enough. Again, going to be close.
He's just not falling down on first contact. The first ball, the first defender to reach him is not bringing him down immediately, and that second effort is going to give them a chance to move the sticks.
Officials eyeball it here. And A timeout for a measurement. But how about Caden Hart? He's now become the workhorse of this offense with Tuttle out. Hart's just a freshman. It's going to be so fun to watch him over the next several years continue to develop in the framework of this offense for Mark Holcomb.
And you got to really mention the fact that he is still the leading rusher on this offense. Came in having 247 yards on the ground, a little over 4 yards a carry, so he's done his job up until this point of the year. But with now his backfield mate to lead Tuttle out of the game, he's going to have to take on that extra workload.
And about a chain length short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th down, and now the acting head coach, Rob Creason, no Mark Holcomb tonight. What's the call here for Oak Grove?
I would give it to number 17 again. Let him work. He didn't get much that time, but give him an opportunity to pick up, what, 2 inches? Move the sticks.
Coming up in the 4th quarter, we'll highlight tonight's Roan Law play of the game. Roan Law, the Triad's injury attorneys. 9 carries, 73 yards tonight for Caden Hart, the freshman.
Not a bad average. And it's been a lot of physicality on all of those runs, not going down on first contact, dragging defenders along with him.
And all of his carries for Hart have been positive yards, too.
Right.
4th down and less than a yard. A quarterback sneak. And a first down for Oak Grove. Little trickeration there for the Grizzlies as they went on an off count.
Yeah, just working. The tight end actually, I think, came over and just went right under center and took the snap that time. What a play.
It was Josh Yoakley, the backup quarterback, who got the snap. And a new set of downs for Oak Grove.
Came in for one drive, or one play in the first half, and a little bit of a wildcat kind of action, trying to pick up a 4th down there. Didn't work this time. Get the ball back into his hands, this time under center, moving from tight end to under the center and taking the snap and pick up the first down. Nice little play. It was a neat little play design they had there for that one.
Now a new set of downs after another crescent forward first down. Read option. And a low throw is incomplete. Not a whole lot doing there for Oak Grove offensively. Stevens, the intended target.
So that pressure really affecting the play there, not allowing Creech to get his feet set. And then on top of that, forcing a bad throw even out to the flat that time. So a good job. Stevens was out there. He had room to work with if the ball could get to him. Just Creech uncomfortable and short arms it.
2nd down coming up. Hart again trying to sidestep a defender, and it takes 3 Black Knights to bring him down. Brings up 3rd down. Talk about the rivalry aspect of this game, Mark. You see a low-scoring defensive battle. North Davidson has knocked Oak Grove out of the playoffs the last 2 years, and right now it's this young crop of Grizzlies that are trying to make the comeback here at home.
Well, you got to think that's got to be motivating for them coming into this one. Just have that motivation factor. Yeah, it's rivalry week, but this is the team that knocked you out the last 2 times you made the postseason. That's got to come into it.
And a team in North Davidson that ended a 5-game winning streak in the spring for Oak Grove to propel them to a conference championship. Sophomore quarterback over the middle again. Creech with another dynamic throw on the slant route. And this time a first down as the catch made by Jake Smith.
Just a nice catch. Really nice throw, delivering the ball where it needed to be. And Smith going up and snaring that one out of the air. Another one of those slant routes this time. Defender Naylor, couldn't get there in time.
Another crescent forward first down. Starting to see some of those adjustments at halftime paying off for Oak Grove on the opening drive of the 3rd.
It's the most consistent we've seen this offense look all night.
Yarborough is in motion. Plenty of time. Another out route. Another catch for a short gain. It's Smith again who hauls it in.
Good pursuit to the football that time by this defense of North Davidson.
5 first downs for Oak Grove already on this drive alone. That's more than they had the entire 24 minutes of the first half.
And I'd be interested to see, we've seen so many of these short routes, these intermediate routes coming over the middle, going to the outside. At one point, one of these is going to have to break off and go deep.
Back to the ground. The freshman Hart again. Gets down near the 20-yard line. Will bring up another 3rd down. Does Oak Grove have another 3rd down conversion in them?
Well, and really, Hart again moving them in a better position to pick up that 3rd down. We talked about how he hasn't had a rush that has lost them yardage tonight. He's also fallen forward all night long, finishing runs and picking up an extra yard or 2 just by falling forward.
3rd and 4. An audible here for Jared Roloffs, the offensive coordinator. Roll out for Creech, dumps it down the field and incomplete. Had a man wide open. It was Sorensen who was sitting down in space but couldn't make the catch.
I should have made that catch too, and I think he knows it as well. You saw him just bobble this one. Man, just took his eyes off the football at the last minute. Sorensen usually so sure-handed. A huge asset to this offense, just not able to get the job done.
Looks like the offense staying out there for Oak Grove. 4th and 4. They've already converted fourth down on this drive.
A drive that has almost taken up half of this quarter so far. You got to cash in and put points on the board.
Who do you go to here?
Out wide, I say Sorensen, go back to him.
4 on the play clock. Roll this way for Creech. Steps up, and what a catch to keep the drive alive on 4th down. Mark, you were right on it. It's Sorensen again.
Creech actually had him earlier in the play. He sat down underneath a little curl route coming back inside, but worked with his quarterback, continued to roll out to the left side, and made that play happen. A strike delivered by Creech, a little high, but Sorensen snares that ball out of the air and converts on 4th.
Back to the ground. Creech will keep it and find Pater. Oak Grove on the board. A Sunbelt Rentals touchdown for Oak Grove. Sunbelt Rentals offering rental locations across the Triad to quickly deliver ready-to-work equipment when and where you need it. It's the 4th rushing score of the year for the sophomore quarterback.
And it was the drive that Oak Grove needed to have coming out of the half. Methodical, going down the field, converting multiple 3rd and 4th downs to keep it alive. What a play. And who else to finish that drive up by number 5 in black, Creech.
And now Doherty on for the extra point. 11 of 12 in point afters this year. Drives this one home, and a scoring drive of over 6 minutes to start the 3rd quarter energizes this Oak Grove crowd. It's a sophomore quarterback converting twice on 4th down. Then he finds Pater to put the Grizzlies on the board. A whale of a game continues when you return to Oak Grove. This is our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals presented by Rowan Law. Coming up in the 4th quarter, stay tuned to find out who is tonight's Carolina Classic Fair player of the game. The Carolina Classic Fair second to none in 2021. Fair still going on. You did not bring me any footlong hot dogs this week. I thought we had that worked out last week.
Did we?
That's what I thought.
I didn't see any money come into my Venmo.
Well, I don't see any goods delivered either. Somebody was a bad teammate.
Wow. I think somebody's a little salty.
No, someone's just hungry is all it is. A drive for Oak Grove that took up over 6 minutes of the 3rd quarter. They're back in it now at home, and it's time for another Arnold Jones Services kickoff. Avoid costly breakdowns with energy-saving agreements from Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air. How does North Davidson respond? All the momentum certainly feels like it's back with the Grizzlies. A short kick, a live ball, and decent field position for the Black Knights.
Well, those deep passes in the first half hopefully are going to carry over if you are a a Black Knights fan going into this second half. Going to have to find ways to continue to move that ball through the air deep down the field. I'm sure Oak Grove made some adjustments to that halftime because that was the biggest threat to their defense in the first half.
Solid rushing attack in the first half for North Davidson. Brian Flynn said that's kind of been the most consistent part of his offense all year has been that rushing attack and that offensive line that performed very well in the opening half. To the ground with Xavion Hayes. Defense ready for it there. And not much for Hayes, the junior ball carrier.
I do wonder, though, because we did see they had 154 yards in the first half rushing. I do wonder, though, if despite all those deep passes down the field, this defense is still going to challenge that offense to throw. Gavin Hill to put the ball in the air and make plays over the top against this defense. That must be still the mindset for this Grizzlies defense.
Over 4.5 yards per carry for North Davidson so far tonight. That time, just a pair of yards. Another read option, and Hayes brought down in the backfield. Good play in the open field that time. Bo Tollier was in there to help make the stop.
Just a nice play that time, just working inside. Great job. Actually a bad read. If Gavin Hill pulls that ball out, he's got room to work with on the outside, but that time hands it off, crashing down to make the play.
7th tackle for loss tonight for Oak Grove. It's now 3rd down for North Davidson on their opening drive of the 3rd period. 4 of 8 on 3rd downs in the opening half for the Black Knights. 10 on the play clock.
Bottom of the screen.
Hill with plenty of time. And underthrown, incomplete. Trying to hit Naylor, who had a touchdown catch in the first half, but it's a 3 and out for the Black Knights.
See, Oak Grove dropped back deep enough so they were right at the sticks, right where the first down was, so they weren't going to allow this offense to beat them that way. Great job defensively, nice play call to get back. And of course, the short arm throw does not give this offense a chance to move the sticks and pick up another first down.
Second punt of the night for Riley Sullivan. You'll remember he had one sail over his head. The only punt he got off went for 27 yards. And in theory, really good field position for Oak Grove as whistles and a stoppage in play. With an equipment malfunction here, will send Jamel Eller to the sideline. Chaperoned off by one of the officials.
Snapping on special teams was a bit of an issue in the first half for North Davidson. Just one of those few spots they have some concern over.
Good snap here. And a booming kick from the 30. This returnable for Oak Grove. Can special teams change the play? Ethan Yarborough sets the Grizzlies up in plus territory.
Ethan Yarborough's having himself here a nice little start to the second half. Nice 4th down conversion on the scoring drive last time, and now gets his offense in great field position to start their second drive of the second half with an excellent return.
A 37-yard return for Yarborough. Mark Holcomb said his special teams needs to be better this week. Got to be pleased watching from home with how good his club executed there.
Just a nice return there. Just really simple. Broke one tackle, get outside. Blocking from his kickoff or his punt return unit did the rest for him there as well. Displays the speed to get upfield and set up his offense in good field position.
Oak Grove looking for the game-tying score. Over the middle and dropped. A big hit laid on the intended target too. Looked like it was Yarborough who was the intended target.
Just really, really nice play design, play call. Had it there, but Yarborough just heard some footsteps coming, took his eyes off the football, anticipating that big hit over the middle. You got to bring that football in. Take the hit, but bring the football in.
That was the 14th play Oak Grove has run this quarter. 13 of them came on that opening drive. Back to the ground for the freshman Hart. And Hart stonewalled for no gain. 3rd down coming.
Good pursuit on the backside that time by Colin Cumming. Just worked his way down the offensive line that time, read the read option well, and followed Hart the whole way down the offensive line, chased him down from the backside. Good hustle by number 54 in white.
3rd down and 9. 5 of 10 on 3rd downs is Oak Grove. 4 of 6 in the second half.
Operating off that clip, 50% for the game, 66% here in the second half. Got to be pleased with that, but here's another one upcoming.
Low snap for Creech. Little jump pass here. Hart makes the catch out of the backfield, but is stopped for a very minimal gain. And perhaps Oak Grove going to play the field position game on 4th down.
There's nowhere really to go with that one. Talk about the jump pass, just a little unorthodox there. Got out the heart, had nowhere to go. Good job, good pursuit by this North Davidson defense.
Sam Waster, the outside linebacker, there to help with the stop. And now the punting team comes on after a 3 and out.
Again, have a chance to play that field position game now. You're down by 7. Got yourself back in this game now with a little under 2 minutes left. Oh,
now they're going to go for it, Mark. Perhaps a quick kick. 2 on the play clock. And trying to catch North Davidson off guard. There's a flag down here in the backfield, so let's hang out. I believe it's going to be on Oak Grove, maybe a shift or an illegal motion here. That'll be a hold on the Grizzlies. That'll be declined. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
I'm not sure if that's the play call you wanted on 4th down with a fake punt, but goes right back over to the Black Knights.
So North Davidson will have it when we come back. Final 2.5 minutes of the 3rd period. It's a 1-score game from Oak Grove. In the 4th quarter, we'll have our West Rock scoring summary. West Rock, your local leader in paper, packaging, and displays. Come join our team at jobs.westrock.com. Good ball game here between these two fierce rivals, or budding rivalry here in Davidson County. Two teams that have high aspirations as the postseason looms. Xavion Hayes ducks under defender for 5 yards.
So good the rushing attack has been in this game so far for North Davidson. Got to find a way to build some consistency here, though, in the second half. Nothing doing on that first drive. And now after the defense holds on the previous possession for Oak Grove, we're going to see if these Black Knights can get something going again through the air.
Back to Hayes. Strung out. And the 8th tackle for loss for this Oak Grove defense. This time, it's Blake Shinholt, the defensive lineman, to get in to make the stop.
Just an excellent stop. Really worked his way through the offensive line, shot through a gap. He really wasn't even defended that time. Looked like it may have been a trap play for him, but too fast to the hole and drags down Hayes in the backfield.
Shinholt with his 2nd tackle for loss tonight, 9 now on the season. And another 3rd and long for North Davidson, who went 3 and out on their first drive of the period. Oak Grove coming on a blitz, picked up. And now another nice ball that was underthrown and incomplete. Once again, trying to go to the sticks that time, but unable to haul it in was Naylor.
Looked like it may have actually gone through Naylor's hands this time. Yeah, it was blown away, but it did. It hit his hands.
Great look by our crew, best in the business. And now for the 2nd time in as many drives, it's a punt for Riley Sullivan.
So in the last drive, it was a very similar play on 3rd down that they actually ran. That time it was short-armed by Gavin Hill at the quarterback possession, but puts that ball in a decent spot, allows Naylor to go back and get it. Just couldn't corral it.
Ethan Yarborough, a really nice punt return a moment ago. This low snap, dug out. And Yarborough will not have a chance to return this one. Oak Grove will start at the 34-yard line. 32-yard punt. And we will see if the Grizzlies can find a way to knock this one up inside of a minute for the 3rd quarter.
They've done a good job of clawing their way back into this one. The offense has done a good job. That first drive just running down the field, 13 plays and putting a touchdown on the board. The last drive stalled out a little bit. Now we're going to see if what they've got left in the tank, what they have for this defense of North Davidson.
Design rollout. Creech floats one up, underthrown, coming back to the football, Sorensen, who makes the catch for the first down. A gain of 20 to move the chain.
I'll tell you what, Sorensen is as sure-handed as they come for this offense, and he has been spectacular here in the second half. Going up and climbing the ladder, spotting the ball at its highest point, going up and getting it over the defender. What a catch by number 13.
6 catches for 81 yards tonight for Sorensen. And now Oak Grove on the plus side of midfield. Playing with a little tempo here. Hart, the rookie running back. Stonewalled. And is now thrown for a loss. Tanner Jordan couldn't quite wrap him up, but he was finally ushered to the ground by a couple of Black Knights. Back to the pass play. Back to the run, sorry.
Yeah, displaying that ability, not going down on first contact, really was there, including by Tanner Jordan, the leader for this defense. That might be his first negative rush of the game as well, I believe.
It looks like Oak Grove is going to be content to take this one to the 4th period. Oak Grove, a 13-play drive to open the 3rd quarter. They march down the field, find pay dirt. The defense is forced a couple of 3 and outs, and this Davidson County clash comes down to the final period. A pair of rivals duking it out in an old-school football game. We'll have the start of the final stanza when you come back to Davidson County on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals. Seven-point lead for North Davidson as we start the 4th quarter. Mark, it's been a great ball game here, looking at scores from around the area tonight. Some interesting games going on as we take a look at what's going on around this area. How about this? Your attention goes to that Reagan-West Forsyth game. Reagan up 15-6 4th quarter.
Tell you what, Reagan saw him a few weeks ago, pulled out a nice win, first ever at East Forsyth. I'm rolling a little bit right now.
See Glenn next week in their game at Mount Tabor. Hope that you'll join us for that ball game next Friday at 7:30. We start the 4th quarter, 2nd down and 11, and off the hands that time of Yarborough, who was open.
I mean, he was wide open. And just sometimes that's a young quarterback leading him just a bit too much and overthrowing, airmailing it over his receiver. Yarborough had room to work with if he caught that football.
Now 3rd down. Creech, a really nice ball game, 15 of 23 through the air, 133 yards, touchdown run, a couple of picks. Sophomore quarterback trying to begin to author his legend here for Oak Grove. What a tremendous win it would be for the Grizzlies, down 14 points at the break. 3rd down, over the middle, again it's Sorensen for a first down.
You know, it really feels like at halftime, Oak Grove got some things in that playbook that they've discovered and opened up here in the second half that exposed the North Davidson defense. They have had a lot of passing yardage here in the second half that's worked over the middle, and Sorensen is found again. He is having a whale of a second half.
Off that crescent forward first down, it's Hart, the freshman, who's upended after a nice gain to the 25. Boy, how much confidence is Oak Grove playing with right now?
A ton. They have rediscovered that confidence here in the second half. Running the football up front, the 5 guys making plays and giving their guys time to work and operate.
From the pistol, it's kept by Creech. And Creech shimmies his way down for another crescent forward first down. Crescent forward of High Point, we keep you rolling. A gain of 4 for number 5.
Even Creech right now, who comes in this game, not a whole lot of rushing yardage, averaging just a little over 1 yard per carry. And he's done a nice job when he's had to run the football tonight, has a touchdown run, and now moves the chains.
8 carries, 22 yards for the sophomore quarterback, including that touchdown run, as you mentioned. They'll remain in the pistol here on 1st and 10. Hart. And strung out and dropped. Tevin Gray, the first man through there for this North Davidson defense. And the official stopped the play. And I'm not sure if someone, I believe Hart has to come off for this play. Perhaps an equipment malfunction. His helmet might have come off.
Might be expecting a passing down here too. If number 17 is off the field right now, might be looking to put that football in the air. North Davidson's got to be conscious of what's going on in the field, the personnel that are on it.
We had a penalty there. It was a false start against Oak Grove, so they blew it dead before the play even started. So it's first down now and forever. First and very long for Oak Grove. 1st and 15 officially. Back to the ground. It's faked, and then they try a pop pass over the middle. Dangerous play on that RPO. I don't think Sorensen was expecting the ball, Mark.
I don't think he was either. He looks a little confused, so just pulling the ball out there. It looked like it may have been the right read. It was a very late pull, and it was almost intercepted, to be honest. It looked like Snyder, number 7, almost had his second pick of the game.
Now 3rd down. Check that 2nd down after the penalty. 2nd and 15. And movement up front, it'll be 2nd and 20. Another penalty for Oak Grove.
Drive that started off so well. They were running the football. They were moving it through the air. And now back-to-back penalties have set them back with a 2nd and 20.
This is an Oak Grove team that has been battle-tested. You look at their non-conference. Southwest Guilford, West Forsyth, a couple of 4A teams that they battled in the first 2 weeks of the season. Mark Holcomb said, so nice to be in a conference that's not full of 10 teams like they were in a couple years ago. 2nd and 15, pressure. And finally sacked is Connor Creech. It's Alston White with his 2nd sack of the season. A big play for this Knights defense.
And that pressure that was applied by his teammate, 54, Colin Cumming, was really the key factor in that play, stopping Creech from going anywhere, holding him up long enough, and able to finish that one was White.
How about this, the first sack of the night for either team.
It's a great job, the pursuit to the football, not giving up on the play, and White benefits from it.
3rd down and all the way to the fairgrounds here. Creech will throw, and incomplete. Nearly intercepted again by the outside linebacker, Wassler. But it'll bring up 4th down.
Just going to see it here. Nothing doing there. It wasn't even going to come close to picking up the 1st down. A dangerous throw may have been going for Sorensen that time. Number 13's been so reliable. You can see there getting coached up once he got back to the sideline.
Oak Grove tried a fake punt earlier this second half. Probably not going to do it here on 4th down and 32. Kick is away by Daughtry. Fair catch signaled. And will be down inside the 20. It'll be 1st and 10 for North Davidson after a 28-yard punt.
Tell you what, if they go on to lose this game, Oak Grove is going to look at that drive and say, guys, that was our opportunity to really get back in this thing. I mean, you score a touchdown there, convert the PAT, it's essentially back to 0-0.
All right, let's look at this from a North Davidson perspective, though. You've had 2 drives in the second half. Both were 3 and outs. If you're Brian Flynn and your offensive staff, where are you going offensively?
Over the top. Deep. That's where a lot of those strikes came from in the first half in this offense when they took the ball to the air.
We'll start on the ground here, and nothing doing for the Black Knights.
And see, that's what they're doing right now. Oak Grove is challenging North Davidson to throw the football. They are challenged. They're stacking the line. They are getting up there to stop the run, saying, if you're going to beat us, it's going to be over the top through the air.
Blake Shinholt there to make the stop. Another tackle for loss, the 3rd of the game for Shinholt.
And I guess I'm confused because of how frequently the Black Knights won those one-on-one matchups in the first half when they did throw it deep.
Well, that's what Mark Holcomb said this week, Mark, in our conversation. We've got to win one-on-one matchups. North Davidson executed that a little bit better in the first half. That ball complete to the outside for a modest gain. It was Nicely who made the catch. But now another 3rd down coming for North Davidson.
At least a manageable one. The last 2 third downs haven't exactly been that manageable, and now they're giving themselves a chance, and they're hurrying it up as well, trying to control tempo.
4 of 9 on 3rd downs tonight of the Black Knights, 0 for 2 this half. Remember, it's been 2 3 and outs for North Davidson on the only 2 drives they've had. And now movement up front might give the Black Knights 5 free yards. A lot of pointing, and he did it. No, he did it. But now Mickey Holloway will tell us who really did it, the offense.
It's kind of crazy because they even had a dummy cadence on the front end of that play too. You saw the fake snap and allow your quarterback and your offense coordinator to go up and survey the defense, see what they've got going on, and still come away with a false start. That has got to be maddening for this coaching staff. 8
penalties, 70 yards tonight for North Davidson. Remember, they average 66 yards a game in penalties. Over 330 total penalty yards this season coming into tonight.
They have played well tonight, but it has not been perfect. Those penalty yards are killer.
Play clock inside of 10. Hill wants to throw. Another home run ball looking for Naylor into double coverage. Intercepted at midfield. It's Ty High who soars high for the pick.
Finally, the safety support over the top takes away a deep throw. And doesn't just take it away, they take the football away. A turnover and interception deep down the field. Oak Grove is being given back life now by that turnover. Again, Hill taking that shot deeper. They were so effective in the first half, but fires into triple coverage. And Ty High, the benefactor on that one, able to come away with the pick.
3rd pick of the season to lead the team for Ty High, who deserves a little bit of swag on the sideline. Oak Grove now down 7 with 8.5 to go.
And you can feel the momentum is back within this crowd. This student section is fired up for Oak Grove.
The sophomore quarterback had that one tipped and was nearly intercepted. Whew. I want to go back to the interception a moment ago for Hill, the quarterback of North Davidson, Mark. You mentioned throwing into double, triple coverage. Is that maybe a product of him just trying to do a little bit too much to get the offense going?
I think so, and the right idea was there. Again, if they're going to force you to throw the football and you were so successful deep in the first half, take advantage. But make sure you're not throwing it where there's 3 other defenders.
Caden Hart, who has been the pulse of this offense on the ground, gets across midfield, brings up a 3rd down and long for Oak Grove.
And especially in such a close game. I mean, realistically, if you're going to take that shot deep down the field, as you see Hart hobbling off the field after that play, so that's going to be something definitely monitored already with Tuttle down.
14 carries, 92 yards for the rookie, averaging 6.5 yards per carry tonight. But on 3rd down and 9, perhaps a passing down for the Grizzlies.
Not much success through the air. Number 13 has been the big playmaker here in the second half, though. That's Sorensen.
Coming on a blitz. Sorensen, and incomplete. It was tipped. Sorensen got a paw on it. Alex Naylor nearly had his 2nd pick of the game. And it's just turned into a game now of just waiting for that big play to happen for both sides.
I think that's really what we are waiting for. Just someone to make that play, that definitive 4th quarter play. And it'll show you who's going to come out victorious here. Again, the Knights still on top by 7. But there's still so much football left to be played. It is anyone's game right now.
Can Xavion Hayes turn this game around in special teams for North Davidson? And before the play, a stop and a timeout called by North Davidson. That could be big with 7.5 minutes to go. North Davidson takes timeout. We will too. A 7-point lead for the Black Knights, who get the football back when you return to this classic on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals, presented by Rowan Law. Seven-point lead for North Davidson. 4th down facing Oak Grove. Following the timeout, the Black Knights get the football back. Daughtry gets the kick away. Hayes calls for the fair catch and hauls it in at the 18. 29 yards on the punt, nothing on the return. The Black Knight is injured. And you hope it's just a cramp here for that North Davidson player in special teams. And as they attend to that injured Black Knight, Mark, looks like just a cramp. Let's dive into the huddles here. Let's start with North Davidson. Obviously, it's been a really frustrating second half offensively for Brian Flynn and offensive coordinator Trip Honeycutt. How do you get your offense going with 7.5 minutes left?
Well, this has been their biggest issue here in the second half, is they've tried to go with the run. Oak Grove has committed to stopping it and not allowing them to get anything going on the ground. So they're saying, okay, beat us through the air now. Start taking some of those deep shots. The last one was intercepted. Right idea, wrong place. Make sure if you're going to throw it deep down the field, one-on-one coverage. Find the guy who is open deep down the field, regardless of who it is. Trust your receivers to go up and make the play. If you are Oak Grove, defensively here, continue to do what you're doing. What you've done in the second half is stymied this offense of North Davidson, who at times looked as if they were unstoppable in the first half.
Keaton Gentle, the injured player, being helped off the field. Great note from Carter Hicks, who's doing yeoman's work on our stats tonight. Just 11 total yards for North Davidson offensively in the second half after having 261 in the first half.
Yeah, again, they looked so good in the first half. Very consistent, stayed on schedule. They were really dictating the flow and controlling this game. And since halftime we came out of halftime, this second half started, Oak Grove has taken over defensively.
Grizzlies trying to bear down again. 7.5 minutes to go. It's North Davidson looking to engineer the comeback. That's a dangerous pass to the outside. Catch is made by Nicely. That's one of the first real positive pass plays that North Davidson has had in the second half.
Yeah. And that's where maybe they have to start setting up those deep passes now with something underneath, those short to intermediate throws. Take what the defense gives you. That's not always about attacking deep down the field. Take what they give you, convert your throws, and continue to move the ball down the field.
Caught a 4-yard gain. Xavion Hayes trying to get going in the backfield. There's a flag down as Hayes achieves the first down, but that will most likely be coming back. Another penalty for North Davidson. It's not just been the misfires in the passing game, but it's been the infractions that have really slowed down this Black Knight offense. You heard Brian Flynn say it at halftime, we're beating ourselves.
And a lot of those were holds. And you see it right there, just hooking him around the outside. It's exactly why Xavion Hayes was able to get around the corner and turn it for a big gain. So good catch by the officials. A lot of miscues and a lot of penalties thrown for both sides here tonight.
Look at the intensity from the fifth-year head coach, Brian Flynn. He's been at North Davidson for 16 years. Now, this is a North Davidson program that is a proud program. They have not had a losing season since 2008 when they went 5-7. They've really been the model of consistency in Davidson County. Pump fake for Hill, looking for another deep ball, and a catch near midfield. It's Nicely again with another big play in the passing game. 36 yards and a crescent forward first down, but hold the phone. There's another flag down.
And I'll tell you what, a beautiful ball that time by Hill. Thrown down the field just right there for Nicely to go out and get it. But he dropped it at the end.
Well, they call it a no catch. You're right, no flag.
Right.
Just an incomplete pass. And that's been kind of a microcosm of the whole game. I don't know, Mark. I think that's got to be a completed catch. I thought he had possession, maybe made a football move.
Do we remember in the first half, though, or rather beginning of the second half, I believe, there was a screen pass that also had the same situation. It may have been bang, bang. I don't know.
I think that's a catch. I think that's a missed call. Third down. Going to throw downfield again, underthrown and incomplete. Certainly looked to me like Nicely had the catch, made a step, and then fumbled it forward out of bounds. If it's me, I go completed catch, fumble out of bounds.
It kind of seemed like it. But again, it's one of those throws that kind of teeters on the edge. I can see a case being made both ways. But nevertheless, a third down attempt there and another missed opportunity for this offense of North Davidson.
I mean, you can see Hill frustrated. I think wanted to have that throw back. Probably should have been a completion.
And it may be also frustration from the play before. It just being ruled an incomplete catch.
And now be careful here if you're Riley Sullivan in the shadow of your own goalpost to punt it away. And a booming kick. Yarborough trying to make another play at special teams. Trying to get to the edge. Ethan Yarborough sets Oak Grove up nicely after a 24-yard return.
Oak Grove has had 2 drives in this game. They've both been here in the second half where they've moved the ball really well down the football field. And now they've only got, 20 yards to go? 19 yards to go?
21 yards, but there's a flag down 2 at the 12-yard line. Not sure why we are surprised. Mickey Holloman and his crew will have to ice their arm again this week. And I believe the infraction will be against Oak Grove. Acting head coach tonight, Rob Creason, will get an explanation from Mickey Holloman.
It's now 33 yards to go. You're down 7. You've got a chance to potentially tie this football game up. They have to score on this drive.
Block in the back was the call against Oak Grove.
It's going to start with that right arm of Creech, number 5.
Halfway through the final period. Play action over the middle and caught. Another dump pass and first down for Oak Grove. It's Jake Smith again. A gain of 18 and a crescent forward first down.
You want to talk about living on the edge? I mean, that is as close to an interception as we've seen tonight without it being one. That was a gutsy pass into the heart of the defense.
Back to the ground for Patrick Stevens. Remember, out here is Caden Hart. He went off on that last drive, just a minimal gain. And for the first time tonight, someone entering the Boost Mobile Orange Zone. Boost Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Only orange I see is on that North Davidson sideline. Not sure that our quest to continue to change the football lexicon is successful.
I mean, just check out that throw right into the middle of the defense.
Second down on the sweep. And not a whole lot doing here for Crew Jones, who got the call.
Again, this drive's so important now with ticking down to 5 minutes left in the game. This is going to be the drive, I think, Chris, that's going to define this football game. What we're going to see going forward. If they don't score here, it's going to be a tall hill to climb.
And an injured player, Kelton Gentle, injured again for the second time. So as they tend to him, Mark, we'll step aside. 5:14 to go in this epic rivalry crash. We'll have more after this from Oak Grove on the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals. Kelton Gentle being helped off the field. 3rd down for Oak Grove. They can achieve a first down mark inside the 10. Down 7. What do you do if you're the Grizzlies?
Got to put the football in the air, and you're looking for number 13. That would be Sorensen. He's been the big playmaker out wide in the second half.
They will pass. Fade. Back corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Landon Dixon had it, but he was out of bounds.
Well, he sure did. That was a great catch, just a little bit too far, about a yard too far out of bounds. Just led him just a little bit too much. You see it here. Went up to go get the football. Great ball. Oh, just couldn't get those feet in. So close.
And now Oak Grove on 4th down, keeping the offense on the field. 2 of 4 on 4th down tonight. Both of their 4th down conversions came in the 3rd quarter.
Watch a roll out here to the right side.
Have to get inside the 5. Creech does roll this way. He'll float one downfield. It's Sorensen. Incomplete. He dropped it at the goal line. That close to a potential game-tying score.
They got the play they wanted. Sorensen sitting right there in the zone. And it may have been tipped right at the line. That football may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage by the pressure from North Davidson, but he had it in his hands. Right at the goal line, couldn't come up, and that could be it for the Oak Grove Grizzlies in this one. But we're going to have to see. North Davidson still has to mount a drive here with 5 minutes left.
2 3-and-outs in the second half for this North Davidson defense. Not much doing here for Xavion Hayes. It was Chris Tapia in to make the stop. These are the moments you live for in a rivalry game, isn't it? 4 minutes to go against your fierce nemesis. Probably a lot of friends, on both sidelines that have a chance to have bragging rights for a whole nother season.
It just means a little bit more when you meet up on Friday nights and it's a rivalry game.
To the ground again for Hayes. Tries to cut it away and squirts ahead for just 2. It'll be 3rd down.
I mean, the fact that he got 2 yards out of that's almost incredible. Just kept bouncing around trying to find a hole in this Oak Grove defense and eventually find something. Now 3rd and about a yard, maybe about a yard and a half. And Oak Grove can continue to move the sticks, move the chains. And that hold that they have on this game, that stranglehold gets a little tighter.
Back to the ground. And swarmed under again is Hayes. It's another tackle for loss. The 10th for this Oak Grove defense. And mark another 3-and-out for North Davidson.
Just a great job swarming to the football, attacking downhill, getting into the backfield and creating that pressure. Hayes had nowhere to go. So much running room in the first half that this offense had for North Davidson, and it has been stifled here in the second half by Oak Grove. They have done a spectacular job getting into the backfield and disrupting this rushing attack for North Davidson.
2 phenomenal punt returns this half from Ethan Yarborough. You wonder if maybe North Davidson tries to kick it away from 6 and black. Sullivan from his own 5-yard line steps into a booming kick. No fair catch. Ball's on the ground. And I think that Yarborough pounced on it. Boy, dangerous. A 41-yard punt, no return. And for all those supporting the home team tonight, imagine those hearts sank into the pit of their stomach there.
Just a little bit. Yarborough actually got exactly what he wanted, what he got in the last 2 punt returns that he had as well. The first gunner running by him and able to get some room to work with, but just took his eyes off the ball a little bit too soon.
Not sure if we've given enough credit to this North Davidson defense and what they've been able to do so far in the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time over the middle. Another catch, another first down. This time it's Yarborough who hauls it in for the Crescent Ford first down.
Just one of the first times we've heard Yarborough here tonight receiving-wise in this offense. A tough night for him offensively. Great special teams play, but a nice catch and a gutsy throw again by Creech.
4th catch of the night for Yarborough. Inside of 3 minutes. A rollout for Creech. Flag is down. Creech throws it incomplete. But this will come back for a hold. But back to the point from a moment ago. How often, how much time as North Davidson spent defensively on the field and only 7 points allowed, and that was on the first drive of the half.
And that's what you got to think about is it's been in the second half. I mean, they've been on the field almost this entire second half, it's felt like, because the offense for North Davidson has not been able to figure out and adjust to the adjustments that that Oak Grove has made. So for them, they've been on the field a ton. And you can see there's some hands on the hips. They're a little gassed here, but they've got to dig deep. 2:48 left. You're up by 7 against your rival. How are you going to respond?
This defense for North Davidson has been like that willow tree, bend, but don't break. They've had a couple of moments that have been close, especially on the last drive, a drop ball at the goal line. After the holding penalty, back to the ground, and not much for the Grizzlies. Once again, it's Patrick Stevens. You wonder about Caden Hart, who went off earlier this half. Oak Grove is now down, it appears, their first and second string running backs. Hart and Tuttle, both sidelined for the Grizzlies.
And that's a huge thing because Hart was coming out in the second half and running with a vengeance. I mean, he was making a huge run on this game to really change the momentum.
Now on second down, pressure in the face of Creech, and misfires again. Was looking towards Jake Smith.
And something that this North Davidson defense has done really well all night long is those underneath defenders, usually your linebackers and sometimes a safety. Where they've been placed on the field has made it tough for this offense to throw the ball because that's really where they've worked with their routes, short and intermediate. The zone coverage and the concepts that have been called here tonight defensively have been fantastic for North Davidson.
3rd and 20. Creech to throw, airing it out, and incomplete. Looking for Dixon, who couldn't quite get underneath it. 4th down, and now decision time. You're near midfield. You have all 3 timeouts. Do you punt here if you're Oak Grove?
As confident as you are in your defense, do you feel like they've got enough to stop this offense of North Davidson that was so explosive in the first half? Do you think they have enough in them? And it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field here and give it a shot with 2 minutes left.
Boy, a long way to go, though, on 4th down. You got to get all the way to the plus 31 for a first down. They are going to go for it. Game perhaps on the line here. A throw for Sorensen, who slips. And a turnover on downs. A chance for North Davidson to salt it away.
And here's what I don't understand is he was nowhere near the first down marker. He was at the original line of scrimmage. So really trying to get him to work underneath in space. But even then, I mean, you had a safety sitting over the top. And I don't know if Creech just couldn't make up his mind. The ball sailed out of his hands before he could pull it back in. I don't know if he was going for Creech or excuse me, if he was going for Sorensen or whoever was at the bottom of the screen running along the sideline.
Brian Flynn, the head coach of North Davidson, told us this week it's been a great week of practice for his defense. Man, that's been on display tonight.
Absolutely.
Has only given up 7 points, and that was on a 13-play drive to start the 3rd quarter.
They have been outstanding all night long. They have figured out this Oak Grove offense from the gun, and they have been able to stop them in almost every single turn. They have been phenomenal. And again, bend but don't break. Finding ways to get off the field, that's exactly what they've done.
Offense has been a little stagnant, though, for the Black Knights as Hayes tries to break one, but again, he's stopped. And Oak Grove will spend their first time out here. Well, it just certainly feels the way this game is going. Like Hayes is either going to break one to put it away, or Oak Grove is going to get a chance with maybe less than a minute to go to try to win the game or tie the game.
I mean, they've got to pick up a first down. With 1 minute and 59 seconds left, essentially, if they pick up a first down, this one's all but put to rest at this point. But Oak Grove is going to challenge them. They're going to challenge them to put the football in the air, much like they have for the rest of the second half. They are going to force them to make a play in the air if they're going to come out of here with a victory with the football in their hands.
So if you're North Davidson, what do you do offensively?
Well, you got to attack through the air. Realistically, the way that Oak Grove is playing, they are bringing so many people up towards the line of scrimmage and within the box from tackle to tackle on that offensive line that there's no room to run offensively for North Davidson. So they've got to make a play over the top. It doesn't mean attacking down the field. If they can just get something over the middle, because if someone blitzes, that means there is a hole in this defense. Find the hole, exploit it, and pick up yards, potentially a game-sealing first down.
North Davidson, since 2010, has won 9 games or more in a season 7 times, with 6 seasons of 10 or more wins. They are a minute 59 away from getting back to 500 overall and moving to 2-0 in the lead. 2nd and 10, Hayes again, and another tackle for loss. It'll bring up 3rd down. Penultimate timeout used here by Oak Grove. That'll leave them with 1. And if you get a stop here, Mark, if you're Oak Grove, kind of thinking strategy now, you'll call your final timeout, hopefully the ball back around minute and a half, minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think about how they really want to end up playing this, because a lot of what Oak Grove has done, right, has been in the middle of the field offensively. If they've thrown the football, it has not been towards the sidelines. So it's not like their receivers have been in a position to get out of bounds and save that time. Is there a chance, honestly, that they get the ball back, but they let it run down a little bit and keep that time out?
Maybe get the ball back about a minute and 10 or so left.
Yep.
Of course, this is all predicated on getting a stop on 3rd down.
Exactly. 3rd and 16, though. You know they're going to go to the air here. And if I were a betting man, I'd make sure that I've got extra attention paid to number 8 and number 14. That's Smiley and Naylor in white.
North Davidson, 4 of 12 on 4th downs tonight. 0 for 5 in the 2nd half. Trying to avoid another 3 and out. Can the Black Knights engineer a put-away shot here? Hill wants to throw, going to throw one deep and incomplete. And now you save the timeout and you get a minute and 45 seconds left.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I'm not sure I understand the play call that way. If you're going to commit to the run on the first 2 downs, try to run down that clock, get them out of timeouts, essentially, if they were even to call one. I mean, you just saved Oak Grove their timeout, and you stopped the clock in this game.
If you're Oak Grove, do you bring a rush on this punt?
No. I'm going to say go back and coverage. The way that they've been able to return the ball here in the 2nd half, almost got there anyway.
Yeah, nearly blocked. Ball hits around the 30-yard line, takes a nice bounce for North Davidson. A 22-yard punt and 70 yards to go for a game-tying score. 96 seconds and 1 timeout for this Oak Grove offense.
I wonder if number 1 right there, Jamel Eller, happened to maybe tip that ball just a little bit as it came off the foot of North Davidson. But nevertheless, here we go. Minute and a half left, down 7. You got 1 timeout to work with. 70 yards to go to pay dirt.
Sophomore quarterback Connor Creech starts for the air. Up is Sorensen to make a huge catch to the plus 45-yard line. A gain of 26. And move the chains again for Sorensen.
Connor Sorensen has been the man here in the 2nd half. He has been the constant receiving threat for this offense. And another huge play now down in plus territory.
8th catch of the night for Sorensen. Oak Grove wants to go quickly. Pressure. They try to set up the screen. They do to Stevens. And Stevens stopped for no gain. But officials let that one roll a little longer, costing a couple extra seconds for Oak Grove.
Yeah, got surprised that they actually did that as well in such a late game situation. And now Oak Grove calls their final timeout.
Surprised that Oak Grove uses the timeout with a minute and 20 left?
I'll say no, and the only reason I'm saying no is because you've got that minute and 20. You already find yourselves at the 45-yard line, able to work your way down the field. When you pick up a 1st down, the clock's going to stop a little bit, and you still got time to throw the ball away.
Clock starts again. Creech to throw underneath and almost intercepted again. Tanner Jordan was right there and nearly had the game-saving interception.
And if it wasn't him, it was going to be one of his teammates, too.
Already 2 interceptions for this Black Knight defense.
Tanner Jordan anticipating that one. Just a long throw. It looks so awkward. Coming out of Creech's hand that time, trying to find Smith over the middle. Honestly, if he puts it over the top, Smith might still be running.
Creech, the sophomore quarterback, 39 pitches tonight. Throwing for the 40th time. Release valve for Stevens out of the backfield. Uses the sideline and gets a 1st down to the 30. Clock stops to move the chains. A gain of 15.
What a play. He may have stepped out of bounds back towards the original line of scrimmage, but no whistle. Stevens continues to go, breaks some tackles, and gets up towards the first down marker.
Take a look here.
See a little swing pass out here to the right side. He gets close to that sideline. Tight ropes.
Now,
there's still some green.
The Grizzlies want to go. Plenty of time for Creech. Throws this way. And up again is Sorensen for another tremendous catch. 19 yards.
He is spectacular. Those hands are crazy right now. Just putting it up and allowing the number 13 to go up and make a play. Sorensen again high points the football and comes down with it. A spectacular catch.
8th catch, 113 yards for number 13. 47 seconds left. And now Oak Grove will have it inside the red zone here. And Mickey Holloman, the referee, talking with the line judge. His penalty is going to be on North Davidson. And that's a free extra 5 yards. 10 yards. That's the 10th penalty on North Davidson. 90 yards in penalties. And now 1st and goal to go for Oak Grove. Stevens inside the 5. And he's thrown down. 37 seconds left. There's a timeout. I believe Oak Grove had kept that timeout, so now they spend it with 37 seconds left. So now 37 seconds, 5 yards to go, down 7 against your nemesis. Well, think about the history of these two programs, Mark. It was last year North Davidson winning at home to snap an Oak Grove 5-game winning streak, win the conference title. North has knocked Oak Grove out of the playoffs each of the last 2 years. A young Oak Grove team, really lifeless for times offensively in the first half, and they've dominated the second half.
This has been the tale of two halves. North Davidson was so in control of this game going into halftime, and they came out, and this is a different Oak Grove team that has come out here to play in the second half, and now they are knocking on the door of potentially tying this game up. 37 seconds left. Nothing is sealed away. We are not done here for sure yet, but they've got a chance now inside the 5-yard line of North Davidson.
211 total yards of offense for Oak Grove just in the second half.
This defense for North Davidson has been so good all night long. Do they have one more stop left in them here? 3 downs away from a W.
Boy, if you can quantify the time of possession, it has been certainly in the favor of Oak Grove offensively. You mentioned it earlier, some tired bodies. And now 4 yards away from a potential game-tying score. No timeouts and 37 seconds for the Grizzlies. Creech on the rollout. A lot of time. Creech going to go to the end zone. Can he fight his way in? Yes! Connor Creech with his second rushing score of the night. And Oak Grove a point away from tying it up.
Chris, I'm sitting up here in the booth. I'm saying throw it away. Get rid of the football. There's no one there. Rolls out to the left side and finds a way to will his way in.
Now a big extra point here for the tie. And we are all square thanks to Aiden Daughtry.
I mean, there was nothing there. Rolling out to the left side, only 2 receivers on that side of the field, nothing available. Great coverage by the Black Knights of North Davidson. But Creech, as he has done here in the second half, did it once with his legs and does it twice. A second time and willed into the end zone by a few of his offensive linemen, kept driving his legs, and now, with 25 seconds left, we have a brand new ball game.
All right, let's now talk about this. 2 timeouts for North Davidson. 25 seconds left. Still time to get into field goal range. Remember, they've got a phenomenal kicker in Riley Sullivan. Coach Flynn told us range to win the game, 45 to 52 yards. He was hitting from 50 in warm-ups.
Yeah. And we were watching. It wasn't just 1 or 2 times. It was consistently. I mean, he was knocking the ball through the uprights.
So you got to get inside the 35, you feel like, to have a chance.
And that actually might be the biggest challenge. it's not even the kick, because of the way that North Davidson's played offense here in the second half, they have not been able to move the football. So they've got to get downfield in a hurry. They still have those 2 timeouts to work with, but they've got to get yards in big chunks here.
Ready for this Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air kickoff. Arnold Jones Services Heating and Air, trusted and dependable for over 60 years. Daughtry, who just tied the game up. A big kickoff here. Special teams have been a factor at times tonight. A 14-point second half rally for Oak Grove. And a short kick that goes out of bounds. And now North Davidson gets it in great field position. Certainly feel like you understand where Oak Grove was trying to go, that short pooch kick, let one of the up men field it. But with the ball going out of bounds, it's North Davidson off their own 35-yard line.
I got to tell you, I would have kicked it deep there. I would have gone and just let one of the deep return men to make a play there. Don't give them any more yards that are guaranteed than you really need to do. Make them work for it. If they work for it and pick it up, that's fine, but now that's a free 35-yard gain, essentially.
Some confusion up front for Oak Grove. A pass to the flats is caught. And out near the sideline goes Reed Nicely, who makes the grab. Timeout called by North Davidson, 17 seconds to go.
About 9 seconds just ran off the clock right there, though. So even a short play like that, got to be quicker with the timeout. If you're going to take it right after a play like that, expecting him to get out of bounds. Still at the 41-yard line, so they've got to pick up a good amount of yards here to get with even in the range of what they would like to be and be comfortable to kick this field goal.
Probably another 30, 33 yards, you feel like?
Yeah, at the very least, I'd say about 30 yards.
Sorry, Mark?
No, you just got to move that ball. You got to get it down there, and Oak Grove has been so good at preventing that deep pass all night long. Just find that one-on-one matchup and allow your receiver to go up and make a play on the football.
Both scores for North Davidson came on some deep passing plays in the first half. Offense has been held in check by this Oak Grove defense. And now it looks like Oak Grove almost going to play a prevent defense, couple of high safeties. Hill to throw again, steps into the throw, and nobody home. Looks like some wires crossed there on the far sideline.
I'll tell you what, number 14, Naylor, was running down the middle of the field, though. He gotten past the zone coverage there. The safeties had already started to flow over to the right side. Naylor was coming back right to left. So he was wide open. If Hill just looks back, Naylor has at least got a first down, a big gain, and maybe good enough for field goal range, if not possibly scoring.
12 seconds and a third down. Hill to throw again all day. Down the field. And it's Nicely, who is ushered out of bounds, incomplete.
Man.
Another close call on that far sideline.
Took a hit, too. Looks like, yeah, he's out of bounds. But that first foot came down, but it looked like his heel may have touched out of bounds as well. So, good call by this officiating crew again.
7 seconds, fourth down. .59 yards away from a game-winning score, or 4 yards away from an overtime. And North Davidson will spend its final timeout.
I was just about to say, if there's going to be a time to take it, make sure you've got a good play drawn up here.
All right, so what do you draw up?
Well, it's going to have to be something that works towards the sideline, because you can't really go anywhere else with this play unless you're going to try to throw the ball deep. And Hill's got some arm to him. He can throw the ball fairly deep down the field, getting some air underneath it. Now, can he throw it nearly 60, 65 yards? I'm not sure.
The longest pass of the night that was completed for Hill has been 40 yards. Now, I imagine if you're Oak Grove, you're going to set back in coverage here and keep everything in front of you, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where the prevent defense comes into play this time. There's almost no way a play can be run in 7 seconds that's going to get this team into field goal range. So they're going to have to take this deep shot essentially as a Hail Mary to the end zone, if nothing else.
A raucous atmosphere between these rivals. And now it looks like it'll be Sullivan who's going to come on to try to kick here. Maybe just playing for overtime.
Absolutely.
Oak Grove going to bring a bit of a rush. Nobody was back to return the kick. And this one will just roll all the way inside the 10-yard line and will send us to an extra period. Well, we were here a couple of years ago for the Oak Grove-Ledford game. That went to overtime. We've got bonus football for you on the other side of this one. Stay with us on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals. $14-all as we head to overtime here at Oak Grove between these conference rivals, this budding conference rivalry. Oak Grove trying to pick up their head coach, Mark Holcomb, unavailable tonight due to COVID protocols. North Davidson looking for maybe a season-defining win to get back to 500. It was a 14-7 or 14-0 lead at the break for North Davidson. Oak Grove 14 points in the second half, and now we get ready for the important coin toss to start overtime.
Just a tale of two halves, really, in this game. North Davidson was in control for almost the entire first half, moving the ball at will, defensively stifling this Oak Grove offense. And then coming out of halftime, something happened in the locker rooms because Oak Grove and North Davidson switched spots. Oak Grove seemingly then started moving the ball really rapidly, and that defense was so good at stopping this North Davidson offense in the second half. And here we are now, overtime, tied at 14.
All right, how about this note? Oak Grove offensively, 130 total yards in the first half, 215 in the second half. Conversely, North Davidson had 286 total yards. 260 of them came in the first half. Just 26 yards of offense for the Black Knights in that second half. All right, so now we get ready for this overtime coin toss. You'll see the two coaches coming out with their one captain. This is to make sure in overtime that, you know, if you win the coin toss, everything is what the coach actually wants.
Right.
Rule is very similar to what they are in the college game, with the exception of both teams will get a possession. They'll start at the 10-yard line, and we'll just keep on playing until someone scores, someone doesn't. And I imagine if you win the toss here, Mark, you want to go on defense first, don't you?
Try to see what you have to get in the second stanza of the first overtime, yes. Normally, that's the play. I'll tell you, though, with that being said, if I was Oak Grove and I won this toss, the way my offense is playing right now, I might go first and put the pressure on North Davidson to score.
Considering how often this North Davidson defense has been on the field in the second half.
Exactly.
Now the coin toss here. It'll be North Davidson who calls it. I believe it was Oak Grove that won the toss, and they will go on defense first. So,
okay,
twice tonight, Oak Grove has won. They won the toss twice, hoping to win the one that matters the most.
So put the onus on this offense for North Davidson to score. You get some sort of points on the board. Again, if they put 3 points on the board, then Oak Grove, they come out in the second stanza, score a touchdown, they win. They put a field goal on the board themselves. We go into a second OT.
This could just go on all night.
It could.
All right, so your offense, if you're North Davidson, has puttered a little bit, but a chance to start in the red zone here, I imagine, and just curious your thoughts, is it big number 11, Xavion Hayes, that's going to carry the bulk of the workload?
Well, I'd like to think that, but again, from what we saw in the second half, was that they weren't, this Oak Grove defense didn't allow Xavion Hayes to get anything going on the ground. So now within the 10-yard line, this North Davidson offense doesn't have the other part of their offense that's been so good tonight, and that's the deep passing game. You can't throw the ball deep down the field. You only have 10 yards to work with. We're really 20 if you include the 10 yards in the end zone as well. So it's going to be, I'm going to be interested to see, because they really haven't been able to work those underneath routes either. However, with that being said, they do have some tall, lanky receivers on the outside. The fade ball does not fall out of the game plan here as well.
Just 26 yards of total offense in the second half for North Davidson.
You already see how far off the ball these defensive backs are playing as well.
No game clock, just the play clock. Oak Grove crowds the box. Xavion Hayes to the outside and picks up 7. Second down and goal.
Nice run that time, bouncing to the outside. Hayes been really good at that, getting nothing up the middle, bouncing it out and turning that corner and picking up positive yardage.
Hayes has 7 rushing scores on the season. His only score tonight, a touchdown pass to put the Black Knights up 14-0. And you felt like maybe it was going to be a runaway for North Davidson. Now Oak Grove crowds the box. Hayes trying to finish the drive, and it's North Davidson that strikes first.
Attacking that right side of the defense for North Davidson. And it really worked that time. Finally gets something going on the ground. Finding some running room to work with, and Xavion Hayes into the end zone. Now Oak Grove so good in the second half. Can they build that momentum and bring it over into overtime? They need to now to keep this game going.
Another Sunbelt Rentals touchdown. Sunbelt Rentals offering rental locations across the Triad to quickly deliver ready-to-work equipment when and where you need it. Now Sullivan for the extra point to make it a 7-point lead. And he does. So now we'll go to the bottom of this first overtime. And Oak Grove will have it from the 10-yard line, having to score to keep the game alive.
And conversely for them, one of the biggest things that this North Davidson defense has done all night is those underneath zone coverages that they've been able to run. This works perfectly into their hand here right around the goal line. A perfect situation. The field is shrunk down, less room to cover.
But remember, Oak Grove without their first and second string running backs here, so it's on the shoulders of the sophomore quarterback Connor Creech, who engineered a couple of touchdown drives with his feet.
They put it in his hands here. He's got an empty set.
Look at Sorensen at the bottom of your screen. They'll go for a little screen. This is hauled in. Catch is made here by Jake Gibson. His first catch of the night.
Do you want to know how much of a threat Sorensen is right now, number 13 in black? He was double covered. There were 2 different defensive backs on number 13 out here to the side. A safety sitting over the top in the corner, pressing him at the line. They were not allowing 13 to get off the ball.
All right, now second down and goal after a gain of just a yard. This is kept by Creech inside the 5, and Creech with the score, his 3rd of the night. And now the all-important extra kick to keep the overtime going. It was Daugherty, Mark, who hit the extra point to send the game to overtime.
I'll tell you what, someone must have told Creech what we were talking about in the press box earlier, because we said he wasn't much of a rushing threat, and he's put 3 tutties on the board tonight with his legs.
11 carries for 33 yards. Granted, all 3 of his rushing scores have been from inside the 5-yard line. And now the extra point is also good. We will continue. We'll go to the second overtime now. Teams will flip into the field, and it'll be Oak Grove who starts first offensively.
Oh, boy.
What a game.
I mean, it has been one punch after the other. Again, you think Oak Grove was losing this game in the first half. North Davidson doing their best in the first half, and then all of a sudden, Oak Grove figures it out, comes and throws a few punches in the second half, and now in overtime, they're trading them back and forth.
Now, the 2 offenses have gone back out on the field on the same end of the field, and now it's the 2 coaches who will meet to start the second overtime, so a little bit of anticlimactic moments here. What a game.
Everybody's just excited.
I mean, these 2 teams have played in the playoffs each of the last 2 years, and this game sort of feels like a 3rd, 4th round playoff game, doesn't it?
It's got that feel right now, and you can even tell. You know, we were we were talking about it a little bit too, because you see how energized the crowd is, and even when we stepped outside at halftime to the concourse, this place is flooded with people. I mean, there are a ton of people. You can see how much it means, not just to these two teams, but the communities as well. They understand this is a rivalry game, and they understand even the people in the other stands are ones that they've known since they were kids. So it is big for not just the guys on the field, but everybody in the stands as well.
And you sort of hate that anybody has to lose this game, and I don't think there are any losers, but this is a game that can sort of feel like a swing game as your season moves along, doesn't it? I mean, whether you win or lose, like, it could spiral your season one way or another. Yeah,
right, exactly. And I think that's exactly. And really, when you look at the two teams where they're at right now, Oak Grove only has one loss coming in this game,
and that was to West Forsyth, the 4A school.
Exactly. And then North Davidson's got their 3. They've played a tough schedule, and they've had an unfortunate time with some of the COVID issues as well. So you really think this is a game that can propel a team forward, or if you let it, it can send you into a downward spiral?
And both these teams, 3A schools for the first time. North Davidson making the move up from 2A to 3A. Same with Oak Grove here in this new conference. And we're just going through the motions again here. This is the correct call, or the correct thing that we do to meet between the overtime periods, just to reset everything, make sure, hey, which end of the field do you want to attack? Everyone knows that Oak Grove's going to go on the offensive end first, and they'll keep it on this end of the field that we've been playing on.
Continuing to go.
All right, so now Oak Grove, you got a little bit of momentum. Kind of the same stuff, same story offensively?
Realistically, yeah. I mean, Creech has been a godsend inside the 10-yard line when he's running the football. All 3 scores tonight for Oak Grove have come on the legs. Number 5, Connor Creech. So he has been the elite ultimate scorer for this offense tonight. We're going to see if he can do it for a 4th time now.
Creech from the pistol. Second overtime. We thought it might be one of these low-scoring defensive battles. An old-school football game tonight. To start the second overtime, it's Stevens on the counter. Gets 3. Might give him 4 down to the 6-yard line. Either way, it's 2nd and goal.
I wonder if they're even going to try to throw down here because of how good that coverage has been, how well they've called it underneath. The receivers haven't had a whole lot of room to work with, but trips to the bottom.
Stevens had it faked, and this time it is Creech who is thrown for a loss, and high stepping was Tanner Jordan after that tackle for a loss.
Our player to watch. Sideline to sideline, he is fast, he is quick, and when he gets to you, he is going to make that tackle. Just blows through the gap that time, a little backside pressure. Creech had nowhere to go. Tanner Jordan making the stop.
Now do you throw it 3rd and goal from the 14?
You have to throw it here. You almost assuredly have to throw it.
Creech over the middle and nearly intercepted. Alex Naylor in coverage for North Davidson.
And to say, even then, it wasn't going to get into the end zone. He was still going to be about maybe 5 to 6 to 7 yards short. So even to get those points on the board, remember, they start in a goal-to-go situation.
And now Doherty will come on for the field goal just to put something on the board. Doherty, 3 out of 4 in field goals this year. His season long has been 27. This will be from 30. To give Oak Grove the lead for the first time tonight. And he just snuck it in the upright. Doherty, the sophomore kicker, comes up big again for this Oak Grove club.
Squeaked it by that left upright. But a nice kick, and it continues to put some points on the board. And now North Davidson has to respond. They have to get at least 3 on the board here. And a touchdown ends it all.
A chance for the rare road walk-off. And you certainly feel like if you're North Davidson, this is just challenge football, isn't it? You try to challenge your offensive line that has been the bright spot, in Brian Flynn's words, all season long.
6 points ends it all.
Hayes on the counter. Inside the 10. down toward the pylon, and he's out. A big hit by Patrick Stevens to chaperone Hayes out of bounds, but it's 2nd and goal now from inside the 5-yard line. They'll have it at the 2.
And Stevens looked like he paid the price for that as well. Hayes, not a small guy, but Stevens comes up, makes a big stop, a touchdown-saving tackle inside the 2-yard line. But again, working to the outside. Hayes has been so good at this all night long, turning the corner and getting outside.
Oak Grove has 11 tackles for loss tonight. They need a 12th here. North Davidson 2 yards away from winning it. Power football for the Black Knights. It's the mesh point that is a little janky, for lack of a better term, and it'll be 3rd and goal after a little miscommunication in the backfield.
I'm thinking that offense thought, his backs thought it was going to be a quarterback sneak, because he'll turn around. He had all of his guys coming up to push him. Oh, that could have been costly, because literally the ball was actually popping out a little bit there at the end.
Two plays to get 1 yard. Straight ahead. And a season-building win for North Davidson. Tanner Jordan on both sides of the ball. It's Jordan who gets his first rushing score of the season and the walk-off double overtime win for the Black Knights.
He does it all defensively, a tackling machine, great in coverage, a great leader. He's the engine on defense, but when his team needed him to step up, he comes in on offense and delivers. In double overtime, the rushing touchdown and walking it off.
In double overtime, it's North Davidson back to 500. A 3-game winning streak over their rivals. And the Black Knights deserve to celebrate this hard-fought victory. Stay with us. We'll hand out some hardware, and we'll talk with the victorious head coach after this thrilling victory on our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals, presented by Rowan Law. What a win in double overtime. This community of two really storied programs, Mark, leave it all on the field tonight, a double overtime win. And we'll take a look now at tonight's Carolina Classic Fair Player of the Game. the Carolina Classic Fair, second to none in 2021. No surprise here. It's Xavion Hayes who really did it all tonight for North Davidson. A touchdown pass, a touchdown run.
Just an electric player. Number 11 in white was doing it from the jump tonight. Not a whole lot in the second half, but really controlled the tempo in the first half, and of course had that touchdown in overtime and a passing touchdown in the first half as well. So Xavion Hayes, just a fantastic athlete. Saw a lot out of him tonight. A very deserving player of the game.
Over 100 yards rushing for Hayes tonight. You mentioned that touchdown pass he threw on the flea flicker there in the first half to give North Davidson that 14-0 lead. And then the play of the game, as we take a look at that tonight, brought to you by Rowan Law, has to be the game-winning score here. Tanner Jordan from the 1-yard line sneaks in double overtime.
Do-it-all linebacker coming in on offense and doing what he does best, hard-nosed football straight up the middle.
A Rowan Law play of the game brought to you by Rowan Law, the Triad attorneys who are here to help. And boy, a season-building win perhaps for North Davidson. Now back fully healthy after everybody is back from the COVID pause that they had earlier in the season. And it's North Davidson who in double overtime, Mark, gets a big win.
Yeah, and they just, honestly, they earned it. Struggled in the second half, but able to really buckle down, find the grit that they were missing for much of the second half in overtime, and able to deliver with 2 touchdowns in the extra period.
Take a look now at our West Rock scoring summary. West Rock, your local leader in paper, packaging, and displays. Come join our team at jobs.westrock.com. Huge second half for Oak Grove, but at the end of the extra session, it was just too much North Davidson.
Yeah, absolutely. They just got down there, and once that defense got that stop in double overtime against this Oak Grove offense, only giving them 3 points on the board, you just kind of tell inside the 10, a team that really prides itself on running the football and being physical up front. They did their job up front in those last 2 overtimes and sealed the deal here tonight.
We'll wait for Hannah to get in position to chat with Brian Flynn. I mean, if you're North Davidson, Mark, you're up 14-0. Your defense is on the field for really basically the entire second half. And to come away with a win like this, to move to 2-0 in the league, man, what does this do for the confidence of a team like this?
Well, it's huge. You think about so many of the challenges, the inconsistencies that they've had with their schedule and how they've been able to prepare for games this year, and it's just been a grind all year long. You see the stats there. Oak Grove, so pedestrian in the first half, able to storm back in the second. But in the end, the team that scored first and drew first blood in this one seals the deal and finishes it off in the end.
A lot of things to clean up for both sides, a lot of teaching moments going into next week. Doesn't get any easier for either one of these teams. North Davidson back home for a quick 2-game homestand. They'll face Asheboro next week. Oh, by the way, Oak Grove, guess what? You welcome Ledford in, another rival. It's like the equivalent of playing maybe North Carolina and North Carolina State in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but they've got to find a solution now and figure out, if there's a second loss of the season, how they're going to recover and bounce back next week.
Obviously, the 10 penalties, that's going to be a concern, I think, for Brian Flynn, but just the grit that his team showcased tonight, I mean, that has to be uber proud if you're the head coach of North Davidson.
And these are things that you can talk about with your team and say, guys, these are areas that we need to improve on, especially with penalties. Let's not continue to hurt ourselves, because think about how many points they feel like they may have left on the board in the first half by the way that they played.
Brian Flynn has finished up some of his obligations and will walk over to finally get some hardware here as he will be chatting with his team. Boy, this is going to feel really good for this North Davidson club, and you feel a little bit for Oak Grove too, the way that they played and came from behind tonight, down 14 points in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they continue to fight. We kind of thought for a little bit there that this was going to maybe be a runaway. North Davidson looked like they had complete control of this game going into halftime. They came back out, and Oak Grove figured it out. They figured out what this defense was doing for North Davidson, able to put 2 touchdowns on the board, tie it up and go in those extra sessions, and you think that momentum has swung back in favor of the Grizzlies, but just like they had done all night as well, North Davidson really willed themselves to a victory. It was really a game between 2 wills you saw here tonight, and in the end, the Black Knights was a little bit stronger.
Brian Flynn told us this week that he tells his team every day all our goals are still attainable, while Hannah's standing by with the head coach. Hannah?
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with head coach Brian Flynn. Coach, you said you wanted to play, sound football this week. I think you did a little more than that coming into this game, coming into overtime. How proud of you, of this team, are you?
Couldn't be more proud. We come to this game with as big-time underdogs, probably the biggest in my career, and I've been doing this. And and that was a little fuel for the fire. And a great week of practice, like I said, and then, of course, we go into 2 overtimes. That was, again, just nothing but pure will and desire to win a football game.
Right, and I know this is the same team you played for the CCC championship game, and it's a different conference. You know, how do you feel you want to keep this same level of intensity moving forward in this conference?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. We got to. I mean, we schedule non-conference games that are really, really tough for a reason, to put us in situations like this. We had a lot of adversity. We had a ton of adversity tonight, and I couldn't be more proud of how they handled it.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your win tonight. And for being tonight's Friday Night Rival winners, we're going to present you with this trophy tonight. And I hope you guys enjoy this win. Congratulations. Hey. Chris and Mark, back to you.
Brian Flynn said he tells his team we got to go 1-0 every day. All the dreams still attainable for this North Davidson squad. Well, in double overtime, the Knights get it done on the road.
Yeah, just a tremendous victory here tonight. A hard-fought battle, just going both ways. A great win for North Davidson.
We want to thank everyone who made tonight's game possible, all our great sponsors, including Capital Metals and High Point for providing those plaques and trophies seen in tonight's game, Cook Reynolds for those high end zone camera views, and to Mountain Fried Chicken for providing our crew meals every week. Join us at 7:30 next Friday, October 15th, from Forsyth County as the Glen Bobcats pay a visit to the Mount Tabor Spartans right here on My 48 Sports. For Mark Covert, Hannah Brady, our great statistician Carter Hicks, and our team in the truck led by Wesley Myers and Lori Bates, this is Chris Edwards saying good night from Oak Grove, where the North Davidson Black Knights win it in double overtime. We'll see you next week for more high school football. So long, everybody.